Yeah, it is, right? It's delicious. Wow, you recorded one. Beautiful, Jamie. And my fucking laptop is on. This is my real laptop, folks. You know, it's not like we have a dedicated laptop in the studio. I actually use this laptop on the road. It's not just here. This laptop is mine. It's very important to me, Don Irrera.
Thanks for warning me about the werewolf in the lobby. It scared the shit out of me when I came in.
Did that thing make you shit your pants?
It was eyeballing me. Speaking of shit in your pants.
I didn't tell you that it was there?
No. Jamie, tell him about the law. Tell him about the law of shit in your pants you were reading me.
There's a headline here that says, let me see, San Francisco finally able to ban people who shit on their subway.
They finally can ban people. Before it was like considered okay.
San Francisco is a beautiful place. It's a very unusual place.
Just go into that corner.
It's important for a place like San Francisco to exist. To be that far off the left-wing trail.
You know what's interesting about it? They're really conservative up there. They're just conservative liberals.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's very well put.
They're
that's
unbending.
Well put.
You know exactly what they think on every issue.
This episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.com. I don't know if Squarespace is in San Francisco, but a lot of smart motherfuckers are. A lot of smart dudes up there.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Irrera.
Brilliant. Well, they got Sunnyvale right near there with all the techno people.
Yeah, Atherton and all that. Squarespace is a website building website. If you've ever thought about starting your own website just to fucking write shit down, just to create a blog, just for fun, just to, you know, whatever, you know, make a website with pictures of you and your friends, start a business. If you wanted to do that, Squarespace is like one of the easiest ways to do it. Unlike in the past where you had to like get to know a program and like learn Dreamweaver or actually try to code it yourself with HTML, which is so beyond my grasp. I wouldn't even think about attempting to do that. I know how stupid I am. But with Squarespace, you can do it, and it's pretty easy. And there's a bunch of different cool designs, and you don't have to even pay to try it out. If you go to squarespace.com/Joe, you don't need to give them any credit card. Just go and check it out. And if you want to use it, then you use the code name Joe, and what is it now? It's 5. It's fucking May. Joe 5. So that's one word. It's Joe and the number 5 together. So squarespace.com/Joe, and the offer code is Joe5. It's a really cool website building machine, really. It makes it so much easier than back in the day. And you can make like a really competent site, and you can build an online store, like super easy to do. So go check it out, you fucks.
Whoa.
Got through it.
That was good.
Do you like that? I threw that angry part at the end. It made me legit.
It was a good pitch.
Like, even though I'm selling them something.
You got ghetto on them.
I got to get my street cred back.
Bitch.
That's what it is. Yeah, you know, folks, there's a certain amount of grossness in selling anything, and I absolutely admit that. There's a certain amount of grossness in saying the same thing over and over again. Go to Ting, and Ting's a cool company. And
yeah, but at least you don't sell shit you don't believe in.
That is true. And if I'm wrong about any of this stuff, I'll let you know as well. Like, what if Ting turned out to be evil? You know, Ting was a secret branch of the government designed to get you more happy with your phone. People were getting discontent, so Ting came along with a better deal. Calm everybody down.
It's another conspiracy.
Tom, we need people on the phone. We need them on the phone all the time, man. Let's make it cheaper. Come on, let's make it cheaper.
Have you ever met anybody through, well, you wouldn't have to. You're with somebody, but the idea, like, because I saw
from online,
black people meet black people. They have one commercial. Did you see that?
No. What is this?
It's just a place for black people to meet black people.
Like a website?
Like they're so hard. Why don't you just go to a black neighborhood? Go to a bar. they have a website.
Well, if that's, you know, nothing wrong with being specific. Yeah. You know? I mean, if
can't imagine Italians meeting Italians. Hey, Antoinette.
You don't think so? There's got to be an Italians looking for Italians website. There's got to be.
Yeah, it's like J-Date.
Yeah, because Italians love other Italians.
I never been out with an Italian girl.
Oh, they're the worst. They're the best and the worst.
I've related to them.
They're savages sexually. They're fucking animals. Yeah? Oh my goodness, they're fucking beasts. They're savages. They're savages.
I like that.
They're too. I like a girl who's not like me.
I used to like. Yeah. You used to say she's a good kid.
She's a good kid. But the last Italian girlfriend I had, she's like likely to swing at me. You know?
Really?
She would get crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my friend said to me about it. He said, I'd never cheat on my wife. I'd be afraid she'd stab me in the neck when I was asleep.
Yeah, this girl liked to yell.
I didn't know you had an Italian girlfriend.
That was the last one. I was like,
before I met you, though.
Yeah, I was like, I think I was 21. She was a great kid, I mean, beautiful person, but they're just wild.
You keep in touch with her?
No, I do not. No, I do not.
Just testing you.
Ting is the other podcast sponsor. Ting is a cell phone company that uses the Sprint backbone, and what it does is they have it set up so there's no contract, so you can quit anytime you want. You buy the phones. The phones that they sell are the best Android phones available. They have all the high-end Android devices, including the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, which is this crazy fucking phone. If you've never seen this thing before, it is preposterous. It's a gigantic, preposterous phone.
What's the one that starts your car and all that?
Is there one that does that?
I saw it last night. It sets the climate in the car, like if it's cold out.
So ridiculous. It starts your fucking car. How is that possible? Is that really possible? An app that starts your car?
Oh yeah, because they had those remotes for a while. Because they would do it like in Montreal, cold places.
Tom Irrera, I'm not ready for this yet.
Joe,
I'm not ready for apps that start your fucking car. I'm not ready for that. That's too much.
The car pulls up. Get in, Joe.
Jesus.
You're
That's
late.
coming. That's Google Cars. They're doing that already, Dom. They already have these remote control cars that they drive around the city, and they drive themselves. They react to cars coming at them. They haven't even been getting in accidents. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts.
I still wouldn't trust it. I can't imagine sitting in the back seat with my car driving itself.
There are a lot of fucking assholes out there, Dom, that drive cars. There's a lot of fucking assholes. I saw some kid the other day just weaving in and out of traffic, speeding. He was flying past people. And like a real, there was a lot of cars there. Well, he just was in the wrong place at the right time. You know, he was doing the wrong thing at the right time. There was no cops anywhere by him. But with the way he was driving was like really crazy aggressive, like cutting people off and racing in front of them. It was dangerous. Like he was cutting like random strangers like off, like barely missing their car. It was kind of maniacal to watch. Yeah. Like every now and then you just get a person like that. It's just really crazy.
I read an article about teenagers that their brains aren't fully developed. And there's a reason they get in so many accidents because their perception and their reactions are good physically, but they make the wrong choices.
Terrible choices. I was a terrible driver when I was a teenager.
Oh, I'm a terrible driver now. You see me drive? Don't even watch me pull out.
Would you be happy if Google came along with something where you could say, "Take me home," and the fucking robot car takes you home? That's coming.
You mind if I open up a six-pack? I would definitely. Now, if you're drinking and driving and you're not, your car's driving itself, can you still get arrested?
It's a very good question because it would have to know for sure you know where you're going.
Right.
No, you couldn't tell it to, hey, go fucking drive in the wrong lane of this street. I mean, there would have to be some sort of.
It would have to have a thing that said it couldn't do that.
Yeah. So then it would have to be, how does it know when there's a light that turns green? How does it know when there's a light that turns red? And it's going to have to be plugged into the whole system. There's going to have to be. If you really think about it, it's going to have to be like a Wi-Fi network or something everywhere that controls these cars. I mean, they would have to have real control to let a car go and just drive around with no person touching the handles and make sure that it stays on path. Yeah. Wow, I would think that would be really hard to pull off.
That'd be hard to trust.
I mean, I don't know how you're controlling it. I don't understand how's it getting to it. It's got to get there from a cell phone. There's got to be some sort of a signal that's reaching the car, unless the car is just a robot.
Yeah.
A self-sufficient robot, which is even crazier. That means no one's controlling it. That means it just goes on, what it knows about what's in front of it with radar or whatever it's using, sonar. I don't know what it's using. But, whew, that's crazy. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I think.
And if that happens, that's an app. So you get the fucking Take Dom Irrera Home app. And you press that on your phone and your fucking car just drives you home. Why is that so weird to me? Of course that's coming, right?
Take me home. Are you hungry?
That's all coming, isn't it? It's coming. It's coming.
It's amazing how technology has advanced so much in the last 5 years.
It's madness, Dom Irrera. Madness.
We have panic attacks if we forget our cell phone now.
I have a panic attack if I forget my cell phone. Yeah, and it's so valuable for finding shit out. It's so valuable for like going on websites.
Nobody has to
and-
read anymore because they can get the answers at their fingertips.
Yes, well, it's not that you don't have to read, but man, information is flowing so much quicker now. Like if you had a question before Google, it would be like a really hard thing to do to research the question. And there was like a lot of people who developed some really good bullshit arguments back in those days, and they don't hold up anymore
Yeah.
because of Google.
Wikipedia is not necessarily always right. So that's the only thing you ever hear in the argument.
Yeah, there's always that's a big one. People love to say that. There's always going to be people downplaying it. But the bottom line is, no one knows everything. It's impossible, and you can find more things because of this. Like this is amazing. Like this is a great time to be alive. This is your phone. You fucking pick up your phone and you talk to it and tell it to go to websites for you. I mean, this is where we live. You ever use that Google Voice?
Oh yeah,
It's the shit. You press it and you say Dom Irrera, and it'll go right to your website. Pulls up Dom Irrera.
I like the one where you go call Joe.
Oh yeah, that's
and
great
just
too.
Boom.
Yeah, yeah. They
Calling Joe.
Yeah, they almost all of them also have the ability to read text, so you can talk to it and it'll write shit down for you, which is really helpful. Like, you ever use that note thing on the iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. You can talk to it, Dom.
Yeah.
Like, I can press this button and say, Dom Irrera is a bad motherfucker. And it literally will say, Dom Irrera is a bad motherfucker. It's amazing.
I was trying to get a porn this morning.
Oh, you savage.
It was
on your phone?
No, on a direct TV, and it was because it was cougars seeking kittens, which I don't know. I find very erotic. Like the older women that like young girls.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew.
So look,
That's so nasty.
And the fucking thing wouldn't listen to my phone number. I kept saying 694. She goes 695, and then I'm getting mad at the fucking computer. I go, will you open up your fucking ears? 694, you fucking douchebag.
This is what you get for trying to buy porn.
I know.
Why are you trying to buy porn? It was super specific.
Yeah, and I'm too lazy to download it and shit.
I hear you. It's always much easier to use that credit card.
Yeah, it is. Because they just send it to your bill. You don't even have to read the letters.
Go to rogan.ting.com and save $25. It's a credit.
What is Ting, Joe?
It's a cell phone company with no contracts.
I like the no contracts thing because that's another commitment in life I'd rather not make.
Why do you need it for cell phones? That always bugs me. It's a gross one.
And they keep adding a couple years every time you take it back to your
motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers, Dom Irrera. Ting doesn't do that.
It's a conspiracy.
They save you money on the bill by if you use under your minutes, they credit you the difference on your next bill. They bump you down to a lower level and they credit you the difference. So it's an awesome company. They're great. Check them out. Onit.com is our last sponsor. If you go to ONNIT. If you haven't been there in a while, there's a lot of new shit, especially in the strength and conditioning department. We have these primal bells now, which are insane. They're the coolest fucking kettlebell in the history of the universe. We had the idea of doing kettlebells with these evil chimpanzee faces on them. And this this chimpanzee's face. Can you pull that face up, Jamie? This chimpanzee's face. It just looks like he's about to fucking kill you. Can you see it?
Oh, I see it.
I love that thing. Because when I work out with it, I pretend that I'd have to fight that thing to the death. That's what I do when I work out. It puts the fear of God into you.
It's amazing how much stronger they are than us.
Oh, it's not even. We're so silly because they look kind of the same size as us, so you get super confused.
Yeah.
But we are made out of Jello. Okay, and
and
that thing is corded steel. The chimpanzees are stupid strong. Like, we can't even get it around our head. It would be so strong that once it grabbed a hold of you, you would feel so helpless. You'd feel so helpless. A 150-pound chimp is like a 500-pound man.
Remember the one that ate that woman's face?
Oh, Jesus
Did you
Christ.
ever see that?
Dumb. They're so terrifying, these fucking things. So, to have one as a kettlebell is the shit, son. And it's only 36 pounds, and you're like, Joe Rogan, I ain't no pussy. And I'm like, dude, I didn't say you were. But the reality is I have a workout for you that will work with that 135-pound kettlebell. I guarantee you it'll kick your ass. It's the Extreme Kettlebell Cardio DVD. We sell it on it.com, and we have the new one, Extreme Kettlebell 2, which I haven't done yet, but I'm sure it's awesome. That guy, Keith Weber, is a bad motherfucker. And it's a great way to, like, you force yourself to just keep up with him. Just force yourself to do what he's doing, and it'll just kick your fucking ass.
See, I'm built like that under my present body.
I know, Dom Irrera. You're in
covered.
there. It's in there.
It's right underneath my layer.
We got to get you using a fucking medicine ball, doing some body weight squats, Dom Irrera. Eating healthy. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Talking healthy, drinking beer, ladies and gentlemen. That's that Deschutes Brewery Black Butte Porter. That stuff's the shit.
I said black butt.
Black butt.
Fucking
And I
stupid.
said,
I
how
am.
dare you? But it should be like butt. TTE. Why is that Butte? Why is it Butte?
I don't know. Why is Houston Street not called Houston Street?
That's a good fucking question, goddammit.
See,
I got questions as well.
I've got a lot of observations like other comedians, only mine aren't funny. They're just observations. Someday I'm going to upgrade them.
We are going to end this commercial right here and now.
This was a commercial?
Yeah. Fucking
For the
gangster like that.
kettlebells?
For everything. For life.
So it was Ting, kettlebells.
On it is for life, Dom Irrera. Yo, that might be the douchiest shit I've ever said in my life.
On it is for life.
On it's for life.
Wow,
man.
Joe.
If you were starting a cult, that's how you would say it. But the reality is,
You have a cult.
this is a podcast, okay? This is we're selling healthy food. That's all, Dom.
You have a
Irrera.
cult, though.
This
You
is
do.
not. But this is not.
But
has nothing to do with
you
it.
have a following, like a cult following.
Hey, I'm a part of something that's it's not under my
It's a
control.
movement.
Dom Irrera. It's not under my control. Use the codename Rogan. Blah, blah, blah. Save some money. Yeah, if you use the codename Rogan, you save 10% off any and all supplements. Just go there, check it out. A lot of good stuff, healthy stuff for you. And cue the music, Jamie. The great Dom motherfucking Irrera is here.
Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
My longtime friend, one of my longest timest friends in the history of my life,
I
Mr.
met you.
Dominic Irrera.
Thank you, Joe,
my
for
brother.
fuck's sake.
Dom and I have been friends for, shit, it's been at least 20 years now.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's crazy. It was 20 years, right?
I brought you up in Montreal. That's the first time I remember
I think
meeting
it was
you.
93. Yeah, I think that was 93. And then we met in Amsterdam Billiards, and we talked for a little bit. I didn't know you played
Yeah.
pool, and I was all excited. There's only a few of us that play pool, like Adam Ferrara plays really good pool.
Fitzsimmons.
Fitzsimmons plays really good pool. Ari plays good pool. Yeah, this is like
Well,
I get so excited.
I remember bringing you up thinking, this is a new breed of comedian. This kid looks like a fucking tough kid. Even when I didn't know you were into martial arts, I was thinking, I mean, you were funny. You were always funny. I'm not just stroking you. But I remember bringing you up thinking, this ain't the fucking kid who had problems with his mother that talks about his, you know what I mean? Because it was a different, and I told you this before, your group of comedians were like more tougher men. I grew up with a lot of like nebbishy kind of.
Well, I grew doing comedy. I started out in Boston, and
Yeah,
those guys
that's
were
a
particularly
good breeding
manly.
ground, yeah.
They were particularly manly.
Yeah.
And you know who made me think that I could do it? Honestly, like who it didn't make me think that the way I looked would be an impediment. It was Nick DiPaolo.
Oh, okay.
Because Nick DiPaolo was he had a great head of hair. He's a
Yeah.
fucking devastatingly handsome guy. He was way better looking than me, and he was bigger than me. He's big, like a football player.
Yeah, he
you
was a
know?
football player.
But he was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, whew, like it was a weight off my shoulders.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember thinking that I looked like an athlete or something,
Right.
and it looked like a jock. You know, if you look like a jock, like you automatically categorized, and it automatically makes you less funny.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, there's like look at Gary Goldman.
Yes, perfect example. Beautiful man.
Too tall,
Too
handsome,
beautiful. Too beautiful. He's perfect.
Yeah, he's a hunk. He's cute. You know what I like about him? His hips. He's got beautiful hips.
He's a fucking devastatingly handsome man. He's big. He's handsome.
One time, Laura Keitlinger. He's hunky.
He's hunky.
I'd like to take him to a prison cell. Laura Keitlinger, right? We're in Ireland. Remember
Yeah,
Laura?
sure. Yeah, very funny.
Very pretty too. And
Yes.
she's dressed. She looks like a fucking model, and she's dying on stage, and she's really funny.
yeah.
She goes, "What happened?" I go, "You look too good."
Yeah.
The guys can't laugh at you. The girls don't think you're funny because you're too pretty, and the guys can't laugh because their girlfriends are looking at them to see if they're looking at you.
Do you know you know Brian Fraser? Do you remember Brian Fraser from Boston?
Probably. I don't remember.
He stopped doing stand-up, but he writes. I haven't spoke to him in quite a bit. But he, at one point in time, was enormous. He was a bodybuilder. And he was super. He's one of those, like, super dedicated, super disciplined dudes that can, like, force himself to work an hour and a half a day and eat strictly healthy. And he was fucking gigantic. I mean, he was huge. And he would go on stage with, like, a golf shirt on. And I had to pull him aside. I go, dude, you can't wear that.
Right.
And he's like, why? And I go, because you're too big. I go, trust me. I go,
Yeah.
you got to trust me on this. Because I go, dude, you're my friend, and you make me nervous. Like, your fucking arms are gigantic. He had, like,
bouncer
pythons
comedian.
in his arms. They were too big. You couldn't stop. You could not look at them.
Well, how about Piscopo when he got... You know those things at the carnival where you stick your head into the muscle man's body?
Yeah.
That's what Piscopo looked like.
Yes. No. Brian Fraser was bigger than him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
But he had to be
Fraser
roided
was
up.
the big... No, he was not.
No,
He was,
Piscopo roided up.
Maybe, yeah. But Fraser was just, like, super dedicated. He was, like, crazy dedicated. Here's a funny fucking story. Because he's a really funny guy. And he looks like maybe like an Irish guy from the Midwest, but he's Jewish. And he at this time had like a really fucking, he's got a temper and he doesn't like people fucking with him, he and I never had any problems, but he was at a gig in Vermont once and we were together, we worked together up there, and he had a little bit of a problem with his voice. He had a little bit of a cold, and so he was saying to the owner of the club, he was like apologizing for his voice being fucked up.
Yeah.
And the guy who owned the club said something like, what are you, being a Jew or something?
Ooh.
Something along those lines, like you sound like a Jew.
Right.
Because he didn't think he was Jewish.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines. It was like really crude and Brian went fucking crazy. He went crazy. There was a desk between him and the guy, and that's probably the only thing that stopped him from smashing this guy. But he was so scary because he was like really fucking strong. And I remember thinking because back then, I didn't even lift weights. I never lifted weights in my Taekwondo days. I was pretty skinny in comparison. He was way bigger than me. I was like, God damn it, I don't know if I can stop him from hurting this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just so much stronger than him. He could just run right through him like a bull. But that one thing that the guy said to him, don't be a Jew. What are you, being a Jew? I forget what it was. But I remember going, oh shit. That's the moment where you're trying to talk your friend out of doing something really stupid.
Yeah.
Where the moment you're I know how you feel, and you're right to be upset, but please don't do anything. Let's get the fuck out of here. If you do something right now that's going to be stupid, it's a mistake, and it's going to fuck up your freedom. You're going to get locked in a cage. You're not going to do this. This is not what civilized people do. You keep the fuck away from people if you don't like them, but you don't have to beat them up. That gets real weird.
I know when you get that look that you're thinking it, but you don't go into action. Remember one night some drunken kids came up to us at the pool hall, and one kid just fucking lit you up, and I just looked at you. I thought, I know he ain't gonna lose it, but this kid has no idea the fucking danger he's in.
Well, he was. I remember what you're talking about. It's just drunk men.
Yeah.
I mean, I could imagine what it's like to be a woman. And deal with drunk men wanting to hold you down and fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
The same type of occasionally you will just run into people that are just maybe they're not like that when they're sober. I don't know. I mean, some people just have a problem. They drink and they just get weird. But when you're around aggressive drunk dudes, it's so unfortunate. It's oh, what a fucking predicament. This has got to suck to be a chick.
And then they start repeating themselves
But I always say, look, it bothers me a little bit, but at least it's not threatening like it is to a chick. I really always think about that when I see those kind of really drunk, douchey guys. It's got to be a terrifying thing to have a guy, want to hold you down and fuck you.
It is, Joe.
It's got to be awful. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth, Dominic.
It's terrible. I can't take it anymore. My back's killing me. When you were saying the thing about,
it's kind of fucked that that's still around, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I with my goddaughter living with me, I can't sleep unless she's home. You know what I mean? And honestly, my godson, he's close blood. If he got blown at a party by the kids mother who threw the party, I go, Danny, that must tell me about it. And don't rat the lady out.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's so different with girls.
It's totally different. It's totally
I was
different.
thinking of something you said before about when he said the guy was Jewish and he didn't. You know how you're part of your culture, you're part of your background. Well, I was married to a Jewish woman, right? And one day I said, not meaning it in anything, just my own ignorance. I said, yeah, maybe we can Jew the guy down.
Yeah.
And she said, that's really insulting. I go, why? And she explained it to me. So then I just start saying, let's Christian that motherfucker down, just to bring it back on myself.
That's funny because Frazier got mad at me for using that expression.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, same
Oh, yeah?
guy. I mean, he didn't get mad at me and like threatened me. We were friends, but he's like, that's really a rude thing to say. And I thought about it. I was like, I've always said it. I never thought of it. I didn't even think it was a bad thing. I was like, a guy's got gold chains on. Oh, he's guineaing it up.
Yeah.
You want to get some money. Oh, Jew the guy down. Like I didn't think that it was bad to be frugal.
No.
I
I never connected the two. I never meant it as an.
Until he said it, and then I saw it. And then it was
of
obvious. Once he said it, I was like, yeah, I guess that is pretty insensitive.
Speaking of that, do you know that they got a guy today, 95 years old, who was a Nazi at one of the camps?
Oh, God.
95, and they arrested him. You think he's going to get life? But seriously, did you see it?
That's a terrible thing for karma that guy lived that long.
Argentina, 95.
That was a big thing.
And he
South
said
America, right?
He said he was. Yeah, they all went there. He said he was a cook at the concentration camp.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what's scary about the Nazis? Is that shit was not that long ago. These guys are still alive.
Not that long ago, yeah.
They're still alive. Some of them are still alive.
Well, that's what I think about when Mel Brooks did The Producers. How fresh that was. I mean, how fucking ballsy was that? Don't be a dummy, be a smarty. Come and join the Nazi party. Remember, when they were doing the goose step dance?
Yeah.
You remember the movie?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that was in the 60s.
Yeah.
And the war didn't end until the 40s.
Yeah.
45,
47, I think it was.
Was it?
Was it 47? Though?
I thought it was 45, but whatever. It wasn't that far back. And he did this whole thing about Hitler. It was fucking hilarious and total balls.
Oh, yeah. It was 45 it ended? Yeah. Mel Brooks was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Still is, apparently. Brian Callen knows him, oh, no, it's Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons knows him. Says the guy just fucking hangs around, goes to go to a coffee shop and talk to people.
Yeah, I'd love to know him. I met him,
on the street, like a super personable guy.
Right.
Just a real nice guy, enjoying life. His fucking son is a badass author.
Yeah.
His son is the one that wrote that World War Z movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, his son wrote the book, which
Wow.
I guess a lot of people, I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously,
Not yet.
but a lot of people are pissed that they deviated from the book.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they do that. But, his son's a badass author.
He had two of the funniest movies ever. Young Frankenstein, Producers, Blazing Saddles, three movies.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein was fucking hilarious. At the time, he was the man. I mean, if you went to see a Mel Brooks movie, there's really no one to compare it to today because he would act in them, he would write them.
He always had to sing or something.
Yeah.
I saw High Anxiety.
Yeah.
And he was singing like a lounge singer. He's going, high anxiety. And he goes, Ziety, each time you are near. Just the idea of Ziety. So fucking stupid.
Mel Brooks was a genius, man. He was a powerful, prolific genius. He did a lot of really good stuff.
Well, at the time, it was him and Woody Allen were kind of like in the, I don't know.
He was more silly.
Yeah. Well, Woody Allen's pretty fucking silly,
Oh,
too.
yeah, sure.
I love the one where he's playing the cello in a marching band, but he has to run up and sit down for a couple bars. Woody, take the money and run.
Have you seen Mel Brooks' History of the World?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny.
Man, it's beautiful stuff. It's beautiful stuff. At the time, that guy was just, there was nobody else like that making movies like that. It was like you heard it was a Mel Brooks movie. You knew it was a certain standard of comedy that you're going to get. It was great stuff.
Though they could never make Blazing Saddles today.
No, they couldn't. Just
political,
too racially charged.
Yeah. I mean, there could never be an All in the Family today.
It's true. Yeah, I don't believe there. And it's sad. It's sad that people would. The good thing is, look, it sucks that people like that ever exist. That there really could be a guy like Archie Bunker that's that racist.
Yeah.
But it's still
But
fun.
my uncle was like that.
Yeah, we had family members that were like that. There were people that were worse than that, by the way, like
He-
way worse than
He
that.
wouldn't even give black people credit for being good looking. You know what I mean? Like if a black woman was beautiful, he'd go, "That's a white nose. She's got a white nose." You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he'd bring up as if all white people are beautiful. And like
That's
bring up
funny.
something. Yeah, but it was real. You know, I mean, he
Yeah.
hated like because when I was a kid, I grew up with the Beatles. He hated the Beatles. He hated like anything rock and roll. That was a ruination of the world.
Well, you know what, Dom? I think I used to wonder what the fuck that was all about. And I think what it really boils down to is that people have these weird natural tribal instincts. They have these weird tribal instincts, and they belong to a tribe.
Yeah.
And whether that tribe is being a Republican or whether that tribe is listening to fucking classical music, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it is that they decide this is where they draw the line, this is where they take a
Right.
stand. It's a tribal thing. It's weird deviations of our need to form groups, so we'll get upset about shit that doesn't matter even a little bit.
I try and not be stuck in any one era. The only thing I was thinking, I don't even know if this is funny or not, but what's going to happen in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 15 years? Like when
true,
there's no
right?
groups left and it's like rap music is dominant. You know what I mean? Like, is there going to
Right.
be like, with motherfucker this, motherfucker,
Do you not like any rap music at
I
all?
do. Yeah,
what
I
kind
do.
What
You
do
know,
you like?
Well, I mean, I like what's Snoop. Snoop is great. I
Yeah.
think I like Eminem. I love
Right.
some of the music we
Do
hear.
would you like buy Eminem on iTunes?
Yeah, I
I
have.
couldn't imagine seeing Dom Irrera.
Well, I get brought up to. What do you want? Lose Yourself. Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
That song. That's fucking great. And the beginning is great. And just for when you get one chance in a lifetime, don't blow it.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
No, he's a bad motherfucker, Eminem.
And I like the one, Mama Never Meant to Hurt You. Never meant.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. It's pretty fucking
He
heavy.
got some great fucking songs.
It's got a new album coming out soon.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Good for him, man.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, I think he doesn't like to perform. I heard that he
Yeah.
has a problem. He doesn't like to go outside.
He gets anxiety.
Well, I mean, you know how fucking famous that dude is. He got so famous. I mean, he got crazy famous. He got famous to the point where it's probably fucks with your head.
Yeah, well, I was thinking last time we were shooting pool, and you're very good with people, but the guy got on your nerves because Joe was just, we were getting tired, and we both of us were kind of tired, and you said, I'm fucking racking the balls. He wants to take a picture. Like that made a difference. Like there was no good time. The poor guy, I mean, you were nice to him anyway, but I just knew you weren't in the mood for.
It's just drunks. It's all right. And that guy in particular, that was no big deal.
Yeah.
That was just, someone was just enthusiastic and wanted to take a picture. That's all good. It doesn't bother me at all. The what bothers me is the drunk thing where you never know.
The drunk, close to your face,
the clunky,
repetitive.
they grab you.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
that. Grab my neck again.
Yeah.
I go for that.
I'm cool with everything but the drunk thing. And if it seems like you're drunk, it's like, ooh, boy, I don't know. Are you
Yeah.
drunk? So how close do I get to you, stranger?
Well, you never see me drunk.
I've seen you drunk. I've seen you
Really?
drunk at the Laugh Factory.
Really?
Yeah,
How long ago?
at least an hour ago.
An hour ago. No, I don't think you've seen me drunk.
Yeah, it was months ago, many months ago. One of the last. I mean, I've only been to the Laugh Factory maybe 3 or 4 times over the past decade.
You're not going to come back?
No, I would go back.
I like when
I
you
like
do
it.
that Wednesday night show of mine.
I'll do whatever you're doing. If you're doing shit there, I'll be happy to do your
Breaking
show.
balls with Dom Irrera.
I'll be happy to do it.
Because I like when you do the half hour at the end, then we have the interview.
Yeah, that was fun. You had a
Yeah.
great crowd. There were smart people. That was a fun crowd. But
Well-
I've been to the Laugh Factory, like I said, like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But one of those times you were drunk, you motherfucker.
I was drunk. On stage?
No, not on stage.
No, one time
Were you?
one time on stage I was drunk because I said something, and then when I realized I was drunk, I said something. You go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You didn't even say it like in an attacking way. You're like confused, and I realized, oh fuck.
Oh, you were
I should have
hammered?
had. Yeah, because he gives me an Irish coffee. You can't give an Irish coffee with half. That there's so much whiskey, the coffee's cold.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah, and I'm drinking. I drank
Jesus
2 of them. Look at
2 of them. So what is that, like 5 drinks probably? 5 whiskeys?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
That makes-
shots? Yeah, at least.
That makes my balls hurt. You say that like,
You know what else makes your balls hurt? Right here.
you son of a bitch.
I was out to a restaurant last night with a friend of mine. You know those guys that make everything sexual, like whatever. And the waitress was, her fish was taken long, and the waitress, I'll get you some zucchini sticks. This has nothing to do with sex. And when she walks away, he goes, "I'll give you a zucchini stick. I'll give you the fucking," you know what I mean? Like nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, there's dudes that always have that.
I'll give you here's
Give her a
your
fucking
zucchini
sandwich.
stick.
You want a sandwich?
Yeah, I'll give you a fucking
I got a
sandwich.
nice meatball right here. Like I said, I'm glad I'm not a girl.
I'm glad you're not a girl too. You'd be fucking scary. I never seen a girl with such a defined back.
I've seen them. I've seen some big ones.
How about the one who came out last week? She's got an Adam's apple.
Who's that?
I forget her name. She just went into the pros. Just I think her team won the national championship.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, I mean,
She went into the pros for what? What was
I'm
that?
not saying
WNBA.
she's got like a beard on her dick. She's so fucking she's so masculine. But she came out of the closet.
Who is she?
She's like the all-time shot blocker in the NCAA and women's
She played
division.
for Baylor. I'm gonna.
But she is like a man.
So this is basketball?
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, it was nothing. It meant nothing to anybody. Then that guy comes out, the 7-foot guy, the twin, which he didn't tell his twin brother he was gay. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He came out of the closet, but he came out of the closet at 34. Oh,
This
there she
guy?
is. No, that's
this is the
this is
girl.
this guy. But look at her Adam's apple.
Wait a minute. Hold up. What's going on there? That's a girl?
That's
Yeah.
a girl.
You want to hear her voice?
Sure.
Give me a second.
So she just came out of the closet? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
She came out of the closet
Oh.
a while ago. There's a player who plays in the NBA. His name's Jason Collins. He just came out this week in a Sports Illustrated interview.
Right. That was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Was he the first gay player ever?
He was the first
NBA.
NBA?
who was still might be playing, but he might not even make a team because he's 34 and he's not any good.
And that's what
It's
I
like
said.
a third-string center.
He might have done it
He
because
might
of
have done
that.
it for that.
Yeah.
Maybe he would go.
Maybe.
Well,
President
that's
Clinton.
rude. You're saying he went gay just for publicity. That's what you're saying.
what some
Yeah, I
people
think
he
he
might not
was.
even be gay.
Nah.
Well, no, he's gay. I can see by the
Do
way
you
he
think
shoots.
before they tie that, look, we're ready to put this story to bed, but we need to see you suck a cock first.
You're right.
I mean, this might be a big publicity
Have you heard
stunt.
Bill Burr
son of a
talk
bitch.
about it?
No, is that what he
says
said?
he should pay a cover charge to go to the shower.
That's funny. That's very funny. That's very funny.
Bill Burr, I don't get him. I love people that say they don't
Who
get
says that?
No, just somebody
Oh,
who's
assholes.
jealous. You know,
Yeah,
who's
there's a lot of that.
fucking
by
Bill's
the
as
way.
good as anything out there.
Well, there's a real disturbing thing in comedy where people don't want other people to be good as well. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we all know a certain number of people who've been afflicted by that, whether
Yeah.
voluntarily or involuntarily. Some of them try to kick it.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy Brogan's one of those old bitter guys, and he's a nice guy, but he used to write for the Tonight Show. You know who he is?
Yeah.
And he was upstairs, and somebody was on stage, a young comic. He goes, "Let's listen to him. I don't get it." I go, "You know what? It doesn't matter. They get it. Listen to the audience.
Yeah.
They get it. It doesn't mean everything's quality, but give them credit. You know."
Yeah, that's a weakness, man. It's like the why
Yeah.
either like it or don't like it, but to really like focus all your negative energy on it like that. Those people, they become
bitter-
a drain. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a horrible aspect to dealing with other people. It's like when you're all in the same sort of business together, and there becomes a guy who just for one reason or another just can't seem to get it together,
yeah.
and so they start spewing venom, and then you're around him. You pick that up. Like if you happen to be working with a guy, and he's like a middle act, he's just bitter and nasty. Like he can ruin your whole weekend.
Yeah, Dub Davidoff played in Invincible. He played a character like that was part of Vince Papali's group, the guy who was the football player who they based the movie on.
Uh-huh.
And it was an interesting character because he's so resentful of his friend's success that when everybody was cheering, you just see him looking in his glass and stirring, like, fuck, he got something else in life. And here I am at the bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Dub played it really well, but it was an interesting character because I've seen it with comedians. When a comedian gets something, it's like, when I started out with Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Right? And I was up for Saturday Night Live, and I was hired for 3 episodes. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eddie became a star, and people would actually say to me, "Does that bother you?" I go, "No. Do you think that if Eddie Murphy didn't do 48 hours, I would have?" I said, "That's nothing to do with me. It's him. He did it. He's talented."
Yeah, but what is it that stops people from ever seeing that? What is it that makes people just go, fuck him, fucking Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
You know, if I was in that movie, it'd be even better. Tell you what,
Well,
fuck Eddie
they're
Murphy.
fucking petty. They're petty and
He
bitter.
couldn't follow me in Cleveland.
Right,
Tell you,
yeah.
this weekend
I
in
killed.
Cleveland, I fucking buried him. He was the middle. I was the middle. He was the headline. I was like, seriously?
Well, we know so many of them. And,
Those stories are so gross. The I blew him off the stage
oh,
stories.
yeah. And crushed.
Unless they're talking about a dickhead. And then suddenly they become cool. If it was a
Right,
guy
but
you don't
somebody you
like.
hate.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, how bad did he eat it? Oh,
I don't like that
plates
guy.
and plates of shit.
Joe, you know I don't like Bobby Collins, right?
Yes, I know.
And I like. There's only 3 guys I really don't like in comedy, and he's one of them. And I do this benefit. It's called Rags to Riches in Vegas. It's all these rich Jews and Italian garment guys. Fucking hilarious crowd. They're all like they all think they're funny. They're fucking. And Bobby Collins was there last year, right? And I said to them, I said, no matter how bad I do, I know I'm not going to be worse than fucking Bobby Collins, right? And they fucking cheered because he had a tough set. This isn't on the air, right?
No.
Okay,
No, this
just
is
us
only
talking.
on the internet. It only reaches the
whole world
of people. So it's a weird group.
I love that they listen to you in Ireland. Like I told you, I'm going to be in Kilkenny in 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's one of the most beautiful things about the internet is that you can get shit from anywhere. You can listen to a podcast like London Real. Those guys do one from London. You could listen to a podcast from Switzerland or Iceland or fucking whatever.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's taken so much power away from the man. When you think about it, think about like
The man,
the man, like the main motherfucking man.
Yeah.
He was my main man, and you killed him.
Yeah, it definitely does. And every comic has a podcast now. It's like, yeah, there's every comedian that I know has a podcast.
Isn't that funny?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like having a podcast is like having a Twitter account.
Well, it's
kinda
like
cool.
having an act. I mean,
Yeah.
you can have an act, but doesn't mean it's going to be that good.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true. But it also it's like it's another part of your act, sort of, you know?
Yeah, Jamie and I were talking about that before you came in, and I asked him, and it was kind of awkward, but I had to ask him. I said, "Do you have eye makeup on?"
He's just a beautiful man.
His eyes, not for nothing. Not that I was like resting on them. I'm just saying,
Right.
as I glanced by, his eyes look like he has makeup on.
He's just beautiful.
He is beautiful.
The idea that your podcast is a part of your act. I mean, it's like it's when you're doing stand up, you know, one thing that you're selling almost more than anything is like a point of view. It's like one of the beautiful things about watching a guy is that you lock into the way he's thinking and you go, oh, I see what he's, you know, and then you start laughing, but you lock into a point of view. You know, you figure out a way to lock into his point of view.
Well, it's cool to do something without your act.
Yeah,
You know, people go like, you know, I told you not to stroke it, but you were because of the power of your podcast and your popularity, you were by far the biggest act we've had on as far as numbers went.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of good guys. Dom Irrera live from the Laugh Factory.
That's a fun podcast.
Jamie
bro.
was on today.
You're really good.
Oh,
You're so well. The thing about you is, hey, we're just giving each other a little massage here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do in show
Hey, I
business.
embarrassed this
is
man.
that we can celebrate each other. You just, you know, you're the real deal. So you don't bullshit things. You don't fake things. It's really Dom Irrera there talking. Some people, for whatever reason, can't do that. They get weirded out if they're doing an interview, or they have that hard time just completely being themselves.
Well, you don't have to do a punchline every fucking every sentence.
Well, you know that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys who don't, you know.
They get nervous.
The thing I love about you, Dom, is that you always like stayed true to stand up. Like stand up was always the big thing for you. No matter what you did, you would occasionally like do a TV show, or you'd like, it would be great if I got a series, but I'm a stand up comic. Like that's what I do. And you've always loved it, and you're always writing new shit. You're always improving.
Yeah, I still love it.
You still love it, and you still come up with new shit all the time too. That's like so important. It's such a it's it's such a rare little sort of group of people that we know that like really really love and appreciate the art of stand up.
Yeah, Brian Callen does.
Oh, fuck yeah, he does. Fuck Ari does.
Ari does, yeah.
Yeah.
I went on after Brian the other night at the Laugh Factory. He had a terrific set. So I'm busting the crowd and saying, it's so nice to follow Brian because he sets the bar so low that whatever, he starts hollering at me from upstairs. They know we're fucking friends. I wouldn't do it. Like like when I host a show, I said the true sign I don't like a person is if I give him a straight, nice intro. If I'm being nice and just give him that means I don't have time for him.
And what people don't understand too is like we bust each other's balls, and it's really like a pleasure. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you say some stupid shit about me, if I say some stupid shit about you, we enjoy it.
Of course.
Like we make each other laugh, and some people don't see that. Like they see like two comics busting each other's balls, and they think like, oh, they are asserting dominance and hurting each other's feelings. Like, no, they're having fun, and the fact that they can do it to each other, you know, and it's about part of being a comic. The busting balls thing is a part of being a comic.
Yeah. Well, when you said something a couple minutes ago about the guys who seriously talk about themselves in comedy, are you know what I mean? First of all, I'm not bragging, but I was incredible.
I buried him. He couldn't follow me down my Irrera.
They should have a music act on after me, just to calm the audience down.
There was a guy that he shall remain nameless, but he had a website.
Name names, man. That's what we're on a podcast.
He had a
for.
website, and in his website, it had a whole story
Bobby Collins.
about how he blew Dice off the stage.
Oh, really?
Dice couldn't follow him. Yeah.
Now, who would that be?
Oh, I don't know, but it's the fucking silliest shit I've ever read. I was like, okay, what are you talking about?
Like, one of the things I like about Dice is nothing phases him on stage.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No.
He did that special. He aired that 2 CD special called The Day the Laughter Died. And he essentially went up at Dangerfields in New York, unannounced. No one knew he was going there. And if you've ever been to Dangerfields, when I was a kid, when I first came to New York, I fell in love with Dangerfields. That was my spot in New York City.
It was an old-time nightclub.
It was an old-time nightclub. It was off the beaten track. They gave you half an hour. The crowds were very small, except like weekends and like sometimes like prom shows were like packed there. But it was where they filmed the Rodney Dangerfield HBO special.
Yeah, I was there.
To me, that was Mecca in New York.
Yeah.
You know, I went there all the time. But we had to work with some really fucking crazy people.
Who was this Scottish guy who was the bouncer owner or whatever? Jimmy, he was a character.
No, it's not a Frank.
He was
his name?
He looked like he was sitting down, and when he was standing, he was so squat.
He was a brick house.
He was a bowling ball.
He was a brick house. That guy was gigantic.
You don't get a fucking laugh, for fuck's sake.
He was a power lifter, that dude.
Yeah.
He would like grab people and throw them out there. He was a gentleman up until someone wasn't a gentleman to him.
You'd reach
and
across.
Then you fucked up. Like you notice he was a big guy. But he was like deceptively strong.
Right.
Like he would do crazy weightlifting things. He had like cement buckets.
Did he
really?
I
Buckets,
didn't
those
know about
plastic
this.
buckets.
Yeah.
He had them filled with cement. And he would do exercises with them. He did powerlifting. He did a lot of crazy shit. Right. That guy was stupid strong.
Yeah, but he was perfect for the nightclub.
He was hilarious too. He was always, you're going to try again with that shite act of yours? And he would bust your balls, but it was warm, you know? It's like he would do it with like a half a smile on his face. And he'd be like, hey, man, I'm just trying to do my thing. And he would laugh. He was a good dude. But if you ever got in a tussle with that guy, oh, my God, he was terrifying. I saw him pick a guy up by his neck. He grabbed the guy by the back of the neck and just hoisted him up in the air. But he's essentially doing it completely by his neck. These prom shows, kids would come in, and they would get so fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
They were so fucked up. Do you remember Al Bell?
Yeah.
A kid went on stage, took the microphone away from Al Bell, and blew cigar smoke in his face.
Wow.
It was crazy.
What did Al do?
He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to get in a physical confrontation with him. I mean, Al was a lawyer, remember?
Yeah.
So he backed away, and, you know, I don't remember I don't remember how it was resolved, because this was like 1991 or something like that, 92.
Anybody ever come on stage with you?
No. it wasn't his fault. It was just the kid was
Right.
like really fucked up. The kid was really big too. He was a big like football player looking kid. He was just really bold. And they were all trying to be superstars. This was like they were at Dangerfields, and it was clear that no one really had the run of the place.
Right.
It was almost impossible to corral the crowds.
Oh yeah,
They were really crazy.
Yeah, that prom crowd is also it's it's like St. Patrick's Day. It's one day everybody gets fucked up, and they were tough.
It was the craziest shows I ever worked in my life, without a doubt. Because first of all, you would work from like the time it was dark out, from like 7 o'clock. You would do shows till 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
You would get off stage at 2 in the morning, and people told me that, and I didn't believe them. But it was like
Joe,
good.
they used
It was
to do-
good money.
The last spot at the Improv used to be 3:45. Wow, 3:45 on the weekend nights. I remember having 3:30 spots.
Wow, that is incredible.
But I don't know if I ever told you this. The first time I did stand up for money was $50 at Seton Hall. Right, I'm just fresh out of improv group, all this shit. And I go up on stage, and a girl starts heckling me. She was fucking out of her mind. So I bring her up, thinking, it's improv, right? The worst thing I could have done. Then she's laughing hysterically, and then she starts crying hysterically.
Oh, my God.
Like sobbing, crying. And I'm thinking, man, this fucking stand-up is harder than it looks, And I don't know what to do. And then this guy, you wouldn't know this guy. He died a long time ago. He comes up on stage. He was he was a real pro, and he just like took her off. And I found out later that her brother's girlfriend was killed in an accident, so she was fucked up on pills and stuff.
Oh.
But it was the first time I ever did stand up, and he covered for me. He did my extra 20 minutes and all. But this is my first fucking indoctrination into this whole new life. I'm going, holy shit. Is that harder than it looks?
What a shit roll of the dice.
Never brought anybody up after that.
That's funny. It's funny how hard stand-up really is, but then once you get good at it, how easy it is.
Well, it's easy because you can take your time and you can think you can literally think. When you're doing an act, it's rote. It's not, then you're thinking, oh, if I lose my place, I don't have a place.
Right.
So I can't lose my place because it doesn't matter. You don't care.
Right.
If you go off in something,
you gotta always have like things to talk about.
Yeah, but
they
I
don't
mean,
always
if you
have
you don't have
No.
you don't do the exact same act, not even close.
No,
and that makes it so much easier because then you're free, and that's when I think it gets easy.
Yeah, that is when it gets easy.
That's why I hate doing like the Tonight Show and shit like that. When they have it scripted of what you're going to say, it takes all the fun and spontaneity away from it.
Well, it's really unfortunate that that's still the thing. Those little 7-minute conversations.
Yeah, they're the hardest thing I do.
Yeah, especially because you're doing it with a stranger. I mean, even if they're, who's the closest? Who are you friends with out of all those guys? Craig Ferguson or
you mean
Conan? Do you do Conan?
No, I do Craig and Fallon.
So, like, even though you see those guys, like, maybe every now and again,
yeah,
you're not really like buddies with them. It's not like you can sit down with them and be yourself.
No, but I gotta say, the thing about Ferguson, he never gets to a question. All the times I've done a show probably 8 times. Never gets. They have the pre-interview and the producers call the segment producers, and they're so worried about what you're going to say. I know. Oh, no, he doesn't know much about baseball, but he knows about football. And all right, and then never gets to a fucking thing.
Wow. Huh.
I had one of my most fun moments ever on television on his show because he asked me, he plugged a date at the Denver Comedy Works, and I had already done it. I said, well, you got a really crack staff here. I said, I've gotten so hot they have to post-plug my dates because there'd be a riot if they all knew I was there, right? And he goes, and then he says to me from his desk, look, we'll start over. I go, I ain't starting over. And he walks over. I go, look, I got a spot at the Laugh Factory I got to get to. I said, I'll do my little monkey dance for you, and I'll come over and talk to you, but I ain't starting over. And we had like a fake fight. But it was great because the audience knew it was real. You know what I mean? And then I went over to the panel, and we just fucked around.
That's great. Well, he's a funny guy. And he apparently does a lot of stand-up too, right?
Does a lot of stand-up, yeah.
He does a lot of road gigs. I know there's been places that I've been where they said he was just there or was going there. Yeah, good for him, man. It's just I would like to see him even more in an uncensored format for hours. You know,
I'd like to see him.
Fascinating guy.
I've only worked with him once. In Toronto.
You know when I really became a fan of his? When he was talking about Britney Spears. Do you remember that?
No, what did he say?
it was, I don't want to paraphrase, but it was right around the time when she kept running into all these problems. And it was obvious that there was something wrong. She was fucking tail spinning. He basically was like, why does everybody care about this? Like, you're talking about a little girl who needs help, like a young girl who needs help. And it was kind of, I mean, I didn't say little girl, but a young lady who needs help. And it was really kind of, it was refreshing. It was like, this isn't, you could tell it wasn't something that was like, he was posturing and he was making an attempt at saying this because he just wanted to achieve some moral high ground or something like that. It was a real, like it felt like he has a voice. He's on television. Let's see if I can just get this message out. And it was so right. It was because it was like, why is everybody freaking out about this young lady who obviously does have problems when we're in the middle of fucking 2 different wars and who knows what else is going on in the world? Who knows what the fuck else is going on?
Yeah, well, it's like Lindsay Lohan now. It's like she makes the news and.
But we're so weird with that, man. It's so weird to fixate.
I think we like to build somebody up and
individuals.
knock them down.
It's so weird to fixate on individuals like that. It's so weird. We definitely like to build them up and knock them down. There's no doubt about that. But it's weird how people just get locked into that.
Yeah.
You know. What's Lindsay Lohan up to now? It's like once she becomes like this sideshow, there's a market. It's almost like she becomes infected with fame. Yeah. And then that fame, it fucking sucks onto her. And she needs it sort of to give her money, and they need her and people like her to fuel their little publicity machine. It's really fascinating stuff. Because they also have an incestuous relationship a lot of times. Some of these celebrities, they actually choose to get their photos taken. They ask to set things up. And their publicists set things up to keep them, in the chatter. It's fascinating.
We had Justin Bieber at the Laugh Factory one night, and I knew he was up there, and he even said a couple things to me. I was hosting, and he had that really cute little chick that he goes out with. I forget, she's a singer.
I think it's Selena Gomez.
Yeah, right. Beautiful.
I'm sad, I know that, but I do.
She's beautiful. But
you said it before I could.
Anyway, his manager came up to Jamie to ask me to mention that he was there. I thought that was so unusual because, a lot of times, like, say Sean Penn comes in, he just wears his baseball cap down, nothing, not a word.
Right.
And this kid wanted attention. I'm thinking, how much fucking attention do you need? You're like one of the most famous 16-year-olds ever.
Ever.
Well, that's But he wanted to be brought up. Like I get a hand for him and all this shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably that's his thing. He gets a kick out of doing that.
Yeah.
He could just show up places and people cheer him. I bet he could do that. Just show up at a restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Bieber's here. Yay! That's a fascinating thing, man.
Well, it's fascinating to me that people comp movie stars and couldn't give a fuck about the guy who's laying in the alley.
Right.
It's like.
Well, he seems like he's handling it way better than most people would.
Well, it's pretty unusual, yeah.
I mean, he's like, he says some silly things every now and again, but he's like 17 years old or 18 years old, whatever he is.
You should see the girlfriend.
He's a young kid.
That girl's fucking hot.
You can't say that. I think she's too young.
I'm allowed to say
she's hot.
18.
She's 18? Okay.
Well, if she's 17,
I don't think you
can't
can
say
say
she's
it.
hot.
I think you got to lie to yourself. What a girl 17. I don't
She was
think.
just 17, you know what I mean? Don't forget
Yeah, right. That was okay to sing back then.
Yeah, but don't forget, he was only 20.
How about Gene Simmons? Christine 16.
Oh, yeah?
Remember that? Christine.
Oh, with Kiss.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a Gene Simmons joint.
She was just 17, you know what I mean? But the way she looked was like beyond compare. Wow.
But this was a Gene Simmons was singing how he has to have her. I've got to have you. I've got to, Christine. That's a great fucking song. And if you say it's not a great song, I say, fuck you, bitch.
That's good. That's a mature reaction.
That's how I handle it. Fuck you, bitch.
You
can't shit on my childhood.
Yeah, there were a couple Sweet 16 songs.
Yeah, there was a lot of creepy dudes back then that got away with it.
Creepy, if you're 18.
People died younger back then. That's what it was.
We're not talking about the Roman Empire, Joe.
That's what it was, Dom Irrera.
5'4".
Dom Irrera. People died earlier back then.
Come on,
it's a known fact. That's what people could have said before
It's a known
Wikipedia.
fact.
Before Google. That's a big point right there. A known fact. And that guy could just bullshit you
Right,
into the
right.
ground. And there's nothing you could say. If he was good at bullshit, you'd be like, all right. No, you just don't want to fucking admit the Encyclopedia Britannica. I've read all the volumes. You're like, you don't know if you read it. Ah, fuck. We're in a quagmire here. You can't get out of this bullshit conversation. Asshole. The asshole's just bullshitting. I know he's bullshitting. And then you find out years later that he was bullshitting. But
It's a
too
known
late.
fact. That's funny.
Those motherfuckers. Those it's a known fact guys. They talk some crazy
You
shit.
can look it up. I can't look it up yet.
Imagine what if you were like a long time bullshitter, like if you were a crazy con man type dude, and you an excellent bullshitter for many, many years.
Yeah.
I wonder how pissed those people were when Google came along.
Oh, I know.
It's like all of a sudden, like they could make up a name of a company, make up the name of a corporation.
Yeah.
And now you'd go, do you have a website? And they'd be like, no, we don't have a website. You'd be like, oh, really?
I was watching Catch Me If You Can the other day, where Leonardo DiCaprio is just like, he becomes a pilot when he's 17.
Right,
and just starts
right.
making checks and getting money.
You can't do that shit today, son.
Walked into a bank and they
Oh,
believed
yeah.
him
Didn't
because
he-
he was a pilot.
Did he
Yeah.
perform an operation, too? Or is that the one?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the idea that you could like have a fake company and get people to invest in your fake company and then you get, oh, where's the money? Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Those days are, you have to be really dumb. I'm sure there's people that are really dumb or get, they're super gullible, older folks or
Well,
people with mental illnesses that get sucked into weird deals.
Yeah, and people that are trying to get a quick buck, like
Yeah.
the Madoff thing. I was personally affected by that because people I love. But a lot of people were just looking for
People
like
that you love lost money? Is that
Oh,
what you're saying?
millions, yeah.
Millions. Wow. Well, you love a lot of people that are fucking powerfully rich.
I know some people. Joe. I've been around.
That's a lot of money.
Been around the block a couple
Millions.
times.
Yeah, that Bernie Madoff thing was, to me, you know what that showed? That showed that this is a crazy system. Because if you guys didn't know he was cheating,
Yeah.
how is it possible? How is it possible
Because
that
it was like
no
a
one
pyramid
knew?
scheme, and there were people still collecting money, so
Yeah.
they were teased by it constantly.
Well, they weren't just teased; they benefited and profited
Yeah.
from it immensely. Some of them made like big profits, but there's other ones that lost so much fucking money.
Oh yeah.
That guy just went baller on everybody. Just had everybody's money all tucked away and just squirreled it off. Crazy fucking sociopathic asshole. And it's just,
What are you trying to say?
he ain't a bad guy. He's just a
I'm
victim
not
of
finished.
circumstance. Probably a psychopath. But the idea that it's possible for a guy to do that was so disheartening for me because I thought that it was more complicated and I thought it was
Yeah.
more secure than that. I
Well,
thought
some of it had to do with the greed of the people too, of wanting to
The
be
greed.
quickly rich, or and these are people that, like I said, like I know a lot of people that and I care about them, but they readily admit they were looking for a quick buck.
Right, of course.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's what he was promising, right? He was promising big returns to a lot of people, right? It's just a shocking thing, like how much money he was handling. It's really shocking.
Yeah.
And then the wife's trying to squirrel some away and disappear into the night while the husband's locked up in jail for the rest of his life. Did one of his sons commit suicide?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was tough.
Could you
He should have just
imagine?
changed his name.
Oh, my God. Should have just what?
Changed his name.
The son?
Madoff.
I don't think it was even that.
No,
I
I
think the
don't-
son just realized, like, his...
Yeah, that's.
I think, especially when you're a young man and you probably grow up thinking that your family is doing really well because your father is a hardworking, smart man, and then he brings you into the business. And then somewhere along the line, they probably had it figured out. Somewhere along the line. If they didn't know from the jump, and then the guy couldn't take it, I guess. Or who knows, the pressure of
Well, the
prosecution.
pressure. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about like billions and billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
What was the number? What was the
I don't
total
know,
number?
but it was definitely in the billions that I've
It's like-
heard.
I think it was like
Yeah, it's a
50
known fact.
billion.
Joe.
Jesus Christ. It's a known fact. It's a known fact. This fucking guy lost more money.
I'm smelling Bitsky.
There's did I ever tell you what Eddie Griffin was saying after 9/11?
But
A lot of people don't even know that they store gold under the World Trade Center
oh no.
and the subways kept running 24 hours a day.
Well, he
He would get high and just say crazy shit.
he actually thinks he's like a genius. And I heard him one night at the store, And this is who's going to argue with this bit? He goes, "We got to stop giving our kids in Compton guns and knives and educate. Like, first of all, who gives their kids a gun? Hey, come here, Johnny. I want you to have a gun and a knife. Here, go to school." And he said, "We've got to start educating them, give them pencils and papers and books." Like, who the fuck is not going to agree to educate kids? I don't think they need education. They need guns and knives.
Eddie Griffin definitely had some crazy times, but I've seen Eddie Griffin fucking destroy.
Really?
I saw him in his prime when he did his first comedy special. It was a short set, I believe. Like, I want to say it was a half an hour, but it might have been even less.
He had a lot of confidence.
God damn, he crushed Dom Irrera. He fucking crushed. He crushed, and it was a scary talent. It was a scary level of talent and energy that he put out. And I remember watching him going, wow, that guy is fucking good. I remember thinking that, like, wow, that guy's got a lot of power in his act. You know, his act was, like, scary. It was like, boom, bang, bang.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so dynamic, the way he moved, you know, the way he paused and expressed himself. And, you know, he had, like, moments like that make me think, like, if that guy just really dedicated himself to nothing but stand-up and really, like, went legit and went down the path. He had moments. If he could recapture those moments.
Yeah, I agree. I think he had some mental issues, to say the least.
He could be a little bit
A
dumb.
little bit fucking dizzy.
It's a known fact that
That
a lot of people of his ilk, the stand-up comedian fellas, a lot of you motherfuckers go crazy. It's a known fact.
Yeah.
Dom Irrera, it's a known fact.
happens.
Your mental illness and your being funny is not a coincidence, Dom Irrera. Okay? It's a known fact.
You know, Joe, you think
People
I'm
of your
paranoid.
ilk.
You think I'm paranoid. You don't think I see these people laying for me in the bushes outside waiting to fucking stomp me?
Eddie Griffin was fucking funny at one time. I don't know. I haven't seen Eddie in a long time. I shouldn't say he isn't anymore. You know, who knows? Might be out there killing it. But
I don't hear about him much. I know that he has.
He's a funny guy,
Who's
though.
the one?
He's a warm guy too.
Yeah, he does.
He's a very
he's
warm
got a good
guy.
heart.
He is a very, very friendly guy.
Part of his deal when he goes to a comedy club is he has to have brand new sneakers. you ever hear this?
Oh, I've heard things like this. I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're Adidas or I think whatever it is. It's a big company, and he has to have a brand new pair of white Michael Jordans or something.
I think it's Nike.
But fucking hilarious.
That's
the man that the guy goes, I couldn't fucking find them. Guy's
Well,
telling me,
if you if you have a thing where you need to wear brand new sneakers right as you walk on stage, and that gives you like superpower, that might sound ridiculous, but if you were a young guy and you grew up poor, when you got a new pair of sneakers, that was like a really exciting thing. So it could be that by not wearing the sneakers until he goes on stage, like he makes him feel like with new sneakers on, like it gives him a little extra power. And it sounds ridiculous, but I remember when I was a kid, getting a new pair of sneakers was like a big deal. So maybe for him, he like kept that tradition.
Joe,
and it's easier for him if they buy it. Like, why don't you buy it? Because I want to change them right before I go on stage.
I asked you before I came on the show not to be insightful and intelligent, not to have any compassion for people. And there you go. No, you're right. That's a good thought.
I try to have as much compassion for people as possible.
never
Even
thought
people
of
that
that.
interrupt our pool game, Dom Irrera. Even people that interrupt.
I can't believe
when we get
racking.
fucking serious here. Dom Irrera and I, when we play, like we occasionally will joke around, but Dom plays very good pool, and I play pretty good pool, and we have some fun battles. It's really fun to get excited.
Joe,
about
first of all, you play more than pretty good. Not to get the Sammy Marlin show.
It's a known fact.
Joe's like
I'm
right below a
consistent B player.
No, you're consistent. Like
for a regular person, I'm an A player, but for a regular pool player, I'm a B player. I just don't have enough time.
No, you're more than an A player for a regular person.
No,
Joe,
no,
I never fucking played anybody that ran out 9-ball like you.
It's done all
Yeah,
the time.
but not regular people. I'm telling you. I played a lot of pool in my life. I beat, you know what, so funny, when I'm not playing against you, because I get a chance to shoot more,
Right.
I play better.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
you sit the guy down.
Tighten up, yeah.
You know, and then you want to get back on the table.
I can run some packages, but I can't run packages like my friends can. So, like, I have the luxury of knowing Max Eberly, who's, like, one of the best pool players in the world. You know
yeah.
Max very well.
Fucking
Me and
ridiculous.
Max, we spar every time I go to Vegas. And pool spar.
Yeah.
I mean, play. He just fucking keeps me in the chair. The guy just runs out from everywhere. He's a monster. Max Eberly is like World class. He won the straight pool championships at the Derby City Classic this year.
What did he run?
It's one of the prestigious pool tournaments in the world. I don't know what he ran. I mean, but he regularly runs 100 balls.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
incredible.
yeah, he's a world-class pro. He's a world-class
position
pro.
you get-
And a sweetheart of a guy. He's a sweetheart, Max Everett.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
I
He's a
miss
fun
that
guy
place.
to be around.
We used to have.
Oh, yeah. I miss it, too.
What was that? Not
Hollywood Billiards.
The Hollywood Billiards.
Yeah.
What was the one before that we used to go to by the gym?
The gym.
Right off of Hollywood Boulevard, across from the Cat and Fiddle. Remember?
Isn't that Hollywood Billiards?
Well, then we went to another place on Hollywood Boulevard. What was that called? Remember? We went to two places for years.
Two places.
The second one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Boston
The
Athletic
Club.
Yeah,
Athletic
that's
Club.
the first place we went
Yeah.
to. Yeah, that place was great.
That was great.
That was a former athletic club that they
Yeah.
converted into this giant pool hall.
Yeah, because they had the track upstairs.
I used to play in a Saturday tournament there. They used to have, when I first moved to LA, they had a Saturday morning tournament. It was like started at like 11 a.m. I made like good friends there. That Saturday morning pool tournament. That was when I first moved here. That was a great place. Remember, they had the track along the top of it.
Yeah, I remember we doubled one night. We took the girls to
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Sophie and was her name Jerry?
Yeah.
I only remember her because she was hot. Isn't that sad?
Oh, it's not sad.
But I mean, that's all I remember.
Yeah, pool is a great thing on a date, except if a chick beats you. If a chick beats you, it's very depressing.
Yeah,
If a chick beats you at pool, but there's a thing about a girl beating you at pool that's demoralizing for some dudes. It's funny to watch.
I had a friend who said, "Will you shoot my girlfriend?" Because she was practicing a lot, and she said to me, "I'm going to kick your ass."
Oh my goodness!
Right. So,
first of all, how rude.
She broke, and I ran the table.
Shit.
Right? Yeah, it was fucking easy. It was those pockets like this.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's not like what we play on. The ball just about fits in it. And I ran the table, and I go, so much for kicking my ass. She goes, "You want to play again?" I go, "No."
Oh,
I don't want to fucking
shut
play.
it down. You say it's over.
Yeah.
You don't like that kind of attitude from women.
I don't like kind of attitude from anybody.
Anybody.
I don't like braggers and I'm going to kick your ass.
But that said, a woman that can kick your ass in pool, she doesn't have to be rude about it. Just a woman who can kick your ass in pool
Just
is
let her play.
humiliating for men. A nice woman who's very polite, who kicks your ass, like that Allison Fisher woman, you know who she is?
Of course.
She'd kick my ass, for sure. Easy. She'd kick my ass. Trust me, she's way better than me.
Who's the big blonde?
She was like a snooker champion, and she came over from Europe and just dominated women's pool. In fact, that's the real problem with pool's popularity. This woman, Allison Fisher, is probably the most dominant sports person ever in any sport, in any game, in women's billiards.
I love watching her shoot.
And it's not like there's only a few women playing women's billiards. Right. There was a lot of really good players. There was not everybody knows Jeanette Lee, the Dragon Widow, because she's beautiful, beautiful Asian woman. But there's like a whole gang of like top pros that would tour around the country, and this woman consistently beat all of them on a regular basis. She was like player of the year, like who knows how many fucking years in a row. She won the U.S. Open, who knows how many years in a row, like, or what, not, I don't know if it was the U.S. Open, whatever the WPBA, whatever their version of, like, their national championship. She would win every year.
No, I don't even understand. Why are men better than women? Why are the top?
Doesn't make much sense.
Doesn't make any sense. It's just a coordination thing.
It is and it isn't. I mean, it can be overcome. Like women like Allison Fisher, she could beat a man playing pool.
Yeah, but she wouldn't beat the top pros.
Most likely not. And there's a few issues with
why.
spatial intelligence. There's something and this is like really theoretical stuff, I think, something to the way the male mind interprets 3D space, that it is it's beneficial for certain things, and pool might be one of them, because after the break, pool doesn't really rely on strength.
No.
And the average woman could easily stroke a ball about as hard as you need to. You really don't ever need to hit it really hard outside of the break. The break shot, especially in rotation games or 8-ball, it becomes a big issue, because if a guy can really smash the rack, he can make, like, sometimes you break and you make like 4 balls on the break. Like there's like that guy Shane Van Boning, who's a fascinating character because he's the best pool player in America and one of the best players in the world.
Really?
Yeah, and he's deaf. And when he plays, he shuts his hearing aid off. And he's not good because of that, but it is an added element. It's good because he's good. He practices relentlessly. The guy's like super dedicated. He's good because of that. But he's also got this added element where he can shut that thing off, and he doesn't hear anything. He doesn't hear anything. So when he's in pro tournaments, he goes into this weird zone. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's really fascinating because it's a form of sensory deprivation, and people have actually decided that it helps them so much that people started wearing like earmuffs and shit.
Really?
This is guy Earl Strickland. And,
I know Earl Strickland.
Yeah, he's amazing player. He puts these things that like the air traffic controllers wear.
Yeah.
These giant head things over his head. And he plays pool with those on. It's fucking gigantic.
Just to even it off with the other guy.
Yeah, so
Poor
he puts
guy's missing
earplugs.
one of his senses.
Yeah, but he tries to recreate it. He puts earplugs in too. So he puts earplugs in, and then he puts these gigantic fucking ear muffs over the earplugs, and then he plays like a man possessed. Both of those guys, they play scary. At that level, pool is madness. It
Did
really
you ever hear
is.
Willie Mosconi?
Oh, of course, I've heard of him. Sure.
Because he was the guy that was the big deal in Philly. When I was
High
a
run
kid.
is straight pool, all-time high run.
Really?
I think it's like 580 balls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he ran it, but it's very controversial because he ran it on a 4x8. It wasn't a 4.5x9.
Is
That's
that
how
true?
much of a dork I am.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Luther Lassiter
smaller
was the
table.
guy who. I don't know if you ever heard that name.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
He was a
Wimpy.
big straight ball.
Yeah, man. If there was money in pool when I was a kid, I would have become a professional pool player because I was enjoying it. There's Earl Strickland with the earmuffs on, because I was enjoying
That's hilarious.
playing pool as much as I was enjoying doing comedy, but I wasn't good enough to like.
Well, you do.
go
You know, we
professional.
talked about this. You would never have the time because you have too much of a career. Believe me, if you were on a lull as a comedian, you could turn pro.
But
If you could play 4 hours a day.
it's so much time and so much effort, and the guys that are playing that are at the highest levels of the game, they're several notches better than me. It wouldn't be like an easy thing to even like do battle with those guys. It would take a long time. It seems like
you'd win some 9-ball games though.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. That's
No,
very
you would
sweet of
win.
you.
I mean, straight pool, a guy can sit you. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's just too bad that game doesn't get like to me. It's like a form of meditation. It's like if I can get into the zone and I can block everything else out and I can move the ball exactly where I want it to go, and I know where it's going, I know how to hit it, I know what speed to hit it, and it gets to the right spot. There's a beautiful feeling to that. It's like you're like enforcing this weird Zen state.
Yeah.
Enforcing this state where you know exactly how many rotations a ball's going to go. For people who don't play pool, they're like, "You shut the fuck up about pool already, Joe Rogan." Jesus Christ. I didn't fucking tune in for a fucking pool podcast. And you queers don't even talk about MMA, okay? John Jones broke his foot. You didn't say a word about it on your podcast.
Well, I had to show you my shaky hand when you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got this thing.
Is that a nerve issue?
Yeah. It's like,
What did you hurt? You hurt your shoulder?
that wasn't as bad. I never heard anything. It's something in the nerve. The chiropractor told me. He said, if it doesn't bother you, he said it bothers my friends more than me.
Do you stretch out at all and do anything?
Oh,
like
yeah.
that? Yeah.
I dance in my house.
Do
I do interpret modern jazz.
Do you do any athletics at
boogie.
all? Little stair climber, elliptical machine?
I don't like where you're going with this, Joe. I got to tell you,
I'm just
quite
saying,
frankly, it's very
stretching
hurtful.
is very good for the
You
pliability of the
you
limbs.
want a
So it
piece
might
of
help
this?
your nerves.
Do you want a piece of this right now?
No, nay, I do
Come
not.
on over here. Let me,
Listen, if you
I do the treadmill.
ah,
I do. It's a shame when you can't tell if somebody ever worked out. That's pathetic. Do you do anything physically?
that's not
You
what I meant.
fat
I mean, I was
fuck?
trying to find out what it was and whether or not you incorporated stretches, especially
No,
stretches
I do.
to your shoulders.
I
and your
especially
spine.
stretch on the road after flights and all that, and
That's good.
yeah, I do the
People don't stretch.
like yoga things. A lot of
Oh, do you?
whatever I learned from the videos.
That's my favorite thing to do before I go on stage. My favorite thing to do, I do yoga.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do. I've tried a bunch of different things that feel good before I go on stage. Hard cardio is one of them. Hard cardio makes me high. Like when I really do like really hard cardio.
You
like,
do that before you go on stage?
Yeah, about 2 hours. I like to do it like 2 hours before, especially before like it's a big show.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be thinking about it, I don't want to.
It does give you energy. Yeah.
Doesn't it just releases some weird endorphin with me, where like if I do like a real hard cardio session, where I just feel silly. I just it makes me sillier.
Yeah,
It relieves me. It relieves me of like physical tension. It just makes me sillier. And I think whenever I can go on stage and be in more of a silly mood, and the sillier I can feel, the more funny I think things are, which is the more funny
when you're getting a kick out of it. Yeah.
I am. The more funny I deliver it. Yeah, when you get a kick out of it, and when you're saying it in a way that's that connects with people. Like sometimes if you're like too upset about something and they don't understand why, it connects with people. It has to be an honest. There's an honest balance for why you're pissed off or why you're happy. Like it's got to be an honest balance. And if sometimes that weird feeling when you watch someone on stage and they're acting pissed off about something, but they're not really pissed off about it, and how gross that is.
Yeah.
That there's
airplane food.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. Like someone they just fake it. Like whatever it is.
Well, what I hate is a fake laugh, always at the same time.
Yeah.
And I can name you 5 people that do it. And I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, you know when someone's mad for real, and you know why they're mad for real. Like you feel it. You know when someone's mad for real. When they really are upset. You know it. And you know when someone's faking it. And when they're faking it, it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
It's too much of an act.
Yeah. And I know a lot of us, especially when you're doing it on stage, it's like you don't either you don't realize that yet, or maybe you're just out of sorts that night.
Yeah,
could be you're out of sorts that night, and you have a bad set. You're not in the right groove. I mean, we've all had those over the years.
I love watching Joey Diaz because of that. Because Joey is so fucking real.
Yeah,
there's not a phony bone in his body. These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He's just like so pure. In that sense, like,
oh yeah, he's not trying to win anybody over.
No,
he's just trying to be funny to the people who love Joey Diaz. I think he realized somewhere along the line that he's really good. He realized
he
that.
Really is. Yeah,
he realized that himself, and he didn't give a fuck anymore. And when he didn't give a fuck anymore, it's like that's when people like really wanted to hear more. And so all the people around him, like if he had anyone around him that didn't believe in him at this point, they all really have fallen by the wayside.
Right.
It took a long road for Joey to like get recognized as how funny he really is.
Yeah.
And along the way, a lot of people had a chance to work with that guy, and they didn't believe in him.
Yeah.
I was telling people about Joey Diaz in like 1998. I was like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, this guy makes me laugh hard all the time. He makes me laugh hard. I go, he doesn't give a fuck, and he makes me laugh hard. And they're like, he's too this, and he's too that, and this doesn't work, and that doesn't work, and if you can't be in a sitcom,
Yeah. My agent called me up, and he said, do you like Joey Diaz? I go, I love him. He goes, you want to work with him? I go, yeah, anything. We're doing the Ice House at the end of July.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That's a beautiful show. I might come and watch.
You know what?
What day is that?
I think it's 27, 28, if I remember in my weird mind that I can remember shit. I don't remember why I walked into a room. I'm like a savant.
What days are those?
Friday, Saturday.
Okay, it's not the 27th and the 28th.
Whatever. See, I was wrong. My savantness didn't kick in.
It could be the 24th and the 25th. Does that make sense?
It could be that. What's the last weekend in July?
The last weekend is that, and then there's the 31st and the 1st.
No, that would be it. The
31st
and
the
one before that.
The one before it. Damn, I'm not even going to be around. I'm going to be in Vegas. I want to see that.
Are you going? What do you got coming?
That's a UFC.
What do you got coming up, Joe? I'm doing Atlanta this week, the Improv, and then Hilarities in Cleveland. You ever do Hilarities?
No, I have not.
I'm looking forward to the Improv.
I don't think I did. Maybe I did. What other clubs are in Cleveland? Is there an Improv in Cleveland?
Yeah, there's an Improv in Cleveland.
I think I did that.
Hilarities is one of the nicest clubs I've ever seen. Looks like a giant cruise ship. It's got everything. It's got a fucking martini bar, dancing girls, a sports bar, theater.
I did one of the clubs in Cleveland. I think it was the Improv. I did it with Heffron and Charlie Murphy.
It's right next to a strip club.
I don't remember that.
Oh. I go by. They're like markings in my life.
We didn't have much time when we did this tour. I did this Maxim comedy tour way back in the day with Heffron and Charlie Murphy. It was really fun.
Now, John was feisty. He liked to fight.
Did he?
Heffron?
I don't know. He never seemed like that with me. We were always very friendly
I had
with each other.
No, not with me.
Oh, with
I
other
had,
people?
Yeah, no.
Really?
I got along with him great.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, but I mean, we were out a couple times. I think he stopped drinking, but he wanted to fucking fight. I said, John, what are you, crazy?
Oh, yeah. It was probably the booze. The
Demon in a bottle.
Old demon.
Demon in a bottle.
Yeah, but we did that place, and we did a different place almost every night. It was really crazy. We were out for 20.
This was
I think
after
22 gigs.
After that exposure he got on that.
Yes, after he won, Heffron won Last Comic Standing, and Charlie Murphy had just done the Chappelle Show.
Nice guy, Charlie Murphy. Huh?
Fucking sweetheart of a guy, and as real as they come, and a great storyteller, man. Charlie Murphy would kill you in the green room. He'll tell you some stories in the green room and just kill you. He's a natural storyteller. You know,
See, that's a fun thing. You get to bring people with you and stuff. That's cool.
Well, that wasn't my idea. It was something that Maxim and Bud Light put together. We all just did it together and became friends once we did it. I didn't know either one of those guys before we did the tour, so it was so lucky that they're both cool as fuck. Because Heffron is cool as fuck, and so is Charlie Murphy. And that's how we met Tom Segura, too. We were at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix.
Right.
And Segura was the opening act. Like they would do, Maxim would hire like a local act, like a local pro, and they would do like 10 minutes or so before the show would start with Heffron, and then it would either be me or Charlie Murphy. And most of the guys were good. They were all good, but one guy was a dick. One crazy guy in Boston was a douchebag. He was crazy and drunk. I don't know his name, man. He was
do you remember Teddy
angry
Bergeron?
and drunk. Yes, I do.
Okay, when you said crazy in Boston.
But they all were pretty good, but Segura just really stood out.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. He went out there. I mean, the Celebrity Theater was a weird place, too, because it was in the round. Those shows are odd if you've never done that before. And
I've done it.
He went out there and just
I did it with Lenny Clark.
Slayed it.
He did?
Yeah.
Lenny Clark.
Lenny Clark and I. Now, he was a tough fucker.
Lenny Clark.
He was fucking huge. He's a big fella.
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, he was big, like, he's a big man.
But not anymore.
No, well, now he's thin.
Yeah.
You mean
but
he's in
still,
shape.
yeah.
But he wasn't always fat, but he was big.
No, he was big.
Like,
And
when
plus,
he was
he
young,
would fight.
Oh, yeah. And he might have a little bit of the yayo in his system, too, before he slugged you. Those guys were animals. Those guys, Gavin and Sweeney and Knox, animals.
Kenny
Knox
Rogers.
was a little bit later. Kenny Rogerson. Those guys were savages. They don't get nearly the credit they deserve. There should have been a time capsule that really captured that moment in comedy.
Didn't somebody do a movie about them?
Yeah. Franz Halamida did.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It was when stand-up stood out. Very good, actually. For me, I don't want to, because it was so close to home, I guess it was much more impactful.
Yeah.
I don't want to oversell it, but I thought it was really fascinating. If you're a fan of comedy, I think it's brilliant.
I'll just never forget how they didn't bury me in Boston.
They tried.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't. They really, you could tell we had an instant
respectful,
relationship,
yeah.
and Don Gavin gave me a great intro, and nobody tried the.
Well, they didn't want to, Bray, if that's what you mean. Like, they didn't think you were a dick. They all loved you.
Yeah, they were good to me.
They would think some guys were dicks, though,
Yeah.
and they would greenlight them.
Oh yeah. You couldn't, because that was like a freight train of comedy. You couldn't fuck with that. If
They greenlit Billy Crystal.
they did that to Richard Lewis too. Richard Lewis hid behind the stage till the audience left.
There was these guys, man, and he was one of them that for whatever reason they generated a little bit of Billy Crystal, but more Richard Lewis. These guys generated a lot of hate.
Yeah.
At a certain comedians, were like, this guy just ain't fucking funny. He's not fucking funny.
Right.
I heard like club owners say that. I was like, why? Like, obviously some people like him. Like, he obviously has an audience, right?
Well, yeah.
You gotta like.
But it's from his movies more than his stand-up.
Oh, I don't know about that with Richard Lewis.
Richard Lewis. No, I thought you were talking about Billy Crystal.
No,
yeah, Richard
no.
Lewis definitely is stand-up.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, there's like certain people that will love to hate that guy or disrespect his comedy. It's like everybody's got different tastes, and that's so hard for like some people who are fans of stand-up comedy to realize.
That's why there's no best stand-up.
Yeah, well, not only is there no best stand-up, you're crazy to look for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't even look for it. It's just enjoy what you enjoy.
Because it's subjective, it's not objective. Like if there's a best 100-yard dash guy because the fastest guy wins. You can't argue. I think the third guy was faster.
And there's some guys that they want to see Gaffigan say anything Gaffigan says. There's some guys and gals that Gaffigan just fucking, for whatever it is, he hits their frequency. And for other folks, it's a tell, and whatever it is. And you can't get upset that some guys like a tell. Like, oh, I don't even see it. Relax. Don't concentrate on that.
I know.
You just relax. Don't get angry.
Yeah. People love telling me that Dane Cook's not funny.
I know. It's like, okay, relax.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to think he's funny.
Yeah.
Apparently, he made millions of dollars because somebody thought he was funny. So.
People get too much pleasure out of other people sucking.
Yeah.
That is a problem. That's a weird thing with people.
Yeah.
They get this weird pleasure out of other people sucking. I don't know what it is. It's interesting though. It's a weird little side effect, a little hater side effect.
It's jealousy. It's a combination of a lot of things.
But it's so bad for the person who thinks it. That's what they don't understand. Like, it's just a massive distraction, It just takes away so much energy from your own life. Because instead of concentrating on this other person, you should be concentrating on your own shit. And if something bothers you, you should find a way, if at all possible, unless, of course, it's some egregious offense or crime or some sort of sin against man and nature, find some way to turn it into a motivating factor for you. If you feel weak because you see some guy like, I don't know, name your fucking mogul, Bill Gates on TV, and he's got $1 billion in his underwear, and you feel like, God, I can't even fucking pay my student loans.
Smart.
Figure out what the fuck you need to do so that you become so successful that you don't worry about Bill Gates anymore. You don't have to be as successful as Bill Gates, but become enough of a person who figures your way through the net of civilization to the point where you don't have to worry. Well, maybe for everybody has their own gradient. For some people, it might be just making a living is good enough. For some people, it has nothing to do with how much money they make. It has to do with getting their fucking mind right. Either going to a shrink or doing some yoga or going on a mushroom trip. Figure out whatever the fuck you need to do to get your mind right. 'Cause it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter anything that else is going on in your life. If you don't have your mind right, if you're not thinking about life clearly, you're gonna make some shitty, stupid decisions. You're gonna be annoying to almost everybody around you. You're gonna fuck things up left and right. Get it together, bitch.
Hey, you talking to me?
No, not you. Damn, Irrera, I would never.
Are you? So you're going to find Sasquatch?
I'm going to find Sasquatch.
Can we talk about that?
Yes, we are. We can't talk too much because it is top secret, Dom Irrera. But for my new sci-fi show, I'm very soon, in the near future, I'm going to go searching for Sasquatch, a very peculiar and particular location that has been known for a high volume of Sasquatch sightings. Dom Irrera.
Is there a particular forest that he frequents?
Perhaps.
Is there more than one?
I can't say.
Is there more than one?
I've said too much already. But we will be camping. And we will be getting our freak on in the woods.
I don't think I'd want to go camping, Joe.
Yeah, maybe not. I'll tell you when I get back whether or not it was worth it.
Well, didn't you go somewhere with Callan?
Yeah, we went hunting in Montana.
Right.
Notice I said hunting with no G. That's because I'm a hunter. I say it so often, it just flows off the tongue. We went hunting.
You live by it.
I live by a code on my railroad. I make my own arrows.
Oh, that was. Did you ever see that Bo Jackson thing?
What Bo Jackson thing?
But he makes his own arrows.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Oh, he's like a madman hunter and fisherman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real outdoorsman.
The calibrator, and he's sitting there, and so that's his favorite thing in the world.
Well,
it's make arrows.
Very fun. The people don't want to hear that because they don't want you going out there killing animals. They take, oh, wow, you can't say it's fun. You say that, you call that fun, man. Well, it's rewarding and beautiful, and it connects you to nature, and it's very humbling, and it's also, it's a really intense thing, like getting your own food. Going out and hunting your own food is very intense. I don't think everybody should have to do it, but for me, it was pretty intense.
I like 5-star restaurants. I like being upgraded.
Me too. All these things are good as well.
Yeah. I'm too lazy to. I don't want to like pick up a tent.
I feel you, bro. I'm not into it all the time. But
I respect that you like it, but
no, I don't like it. No, you just do it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm not
you
going
went
to do
hunting
it.
with Brian. You must have liked
Yeah,
that.
it was cold as fuck. We were camping out in the middle of the snow in Montana, or in the middle of freezing weather. It didn't snow. It did rain one day though. But
That's
it was
worse than snow.
Yeah, it's, it's miserable. But I wanted to experience it. I thought it'd be. I think we're so far removed from being in the wilderness that to have an opportunity, especially with like expert outdoorsmen, to go out into the wilderness for 5 days, I'm like, I'm going. This is going to be wildness. Ari Shafir and I are going salmon fishing. We're headed up to the Great White North of Alaska. We're trying to get a date in Anchorage. Yeah, to go salmon fishing.
Sure, you could get a date in Anchorage.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Hopefully, go catch some fucking salmon down Irrera. Pull those
Swimming
giant,
upstream, those cocksuckers.
giant monsters. Crazy fucking fish.
Catch them with your
powerful,
hands.
muscular fish.
Show them how quick you are.
Imagine how hard it must have been to eat fish back before people figured out rods and reels and spears, shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking hard to get a fish meal. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You gonna grab it with your hands, stupid?
Well, the idea of them swimming upstream, there were so many of them, you could like bat them out of the air.
So ridiculous that was like the choice for survival, that they would go all the way upstream back to the river, or back up the mouth of the river.
Not the brightest fish.
Well, it's nuts that they live in fresh water and they also live in salt water. What a crazy animal.
Brackish water.
Yeah. Wild fucking animal. Is that a real thing that's been going around, this thing with human-like teeth?
It's called a sheepshead fish.
Sheepshead fish? Yeah. It's all over the internet. Yeah, fish are weird, man. They're out there breathing water and shit, swimming around. I watched a show today about a paddlefish. You know what a paddlefish is?
No.
It doesn't have any bones. Some weird prehistoric fish that lives in, I think it was the Ozarks or something like that. I forget what they were saying.
Wow.
And you can't even catch them with like bait. The way you catch them is by having a line with a bunch of hooks on it. And you just drop it down and keep pulling it up. Trying to snag something. And that's it, if you snag it. And if you snag it, then you just pull it up to the surface. But you never, like, legitimately catch one ever. You just got to snag one.
I never heard of that.
That's the only way to catch them. Yeah, they're enormous. And they have no bones. They're so weird. They're some sort of weird prehistoric fish. And the way they gut them, it's so strange. They make an incision and then they pull out the spinal cord.
They eat them?
Yeah, they eat everything. The roe of these animals is apparently very much like sturgeon roe, which is what caviar is, which is worth a lot of money. And so, in order to make sure that they didn't allow a market for this stuff to develop, even though it's legal to kill the animal and legal to eat the animal, it's only legal to possess its roe on the dock. You can only either have it on your boat or on the dock. So you got to either eat that roe or throw it out.
Why?
Because you can't take it with you, because you can develop a market for it. You can't develop a market for it. Because then the animal's roe would be worth too much, and they would worry that even though you have a certain number that you can kill in a day and eat, like they say it tastes good. They say it tastes like pork. That's what they're saying when they grilled it. They said, because like a lot of people like have an aversion to eating it because it's a strange, like it's almost like they have like prejudices against it because it doesn't have any bones and it looks like it's a fucking billion years old. It looks like a crazy dinosaur fish.
It's amazing they keep discovering new species and new
Have you ever
fish.
heard of a snakehead fish?
Yeah, those are a real problem. They have snakehead fishes in fishes.
Central Park.
Snakehead fish have been spotted in Central Park. Yeah, thanks for
Really?
finishing my sentence. Yeah, they've invaded in Central Park.
How the fuck they get there? Somebody had to bring them.
Yeah, that's what's going on in
They can
Florida,
live outside
right?
of water for a couple days, which is the scary part.
Yeah, they
about it.
walk, dude. They walk. They
Hey,
walk.
how you doing? How you doing?
Did you ever see that special about the Congo? Where I think that's where they live. I think where they live is in the Congo. It's
Native to Asia and Russia is what this says.
Is that what it is?
That's what this article says.
Well, they're probably right. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong, but there's a fish like it. It might not be the snakehead, but there's a video. Let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube. It's a BBC Congo, and I've talked about it before. It's really a damn shame that this video isn't like one of those, those Mother Earth or Planet Earth DVD setups Well, they're super easy to get. Everybody knows about them, right? That's like if you want to see some cool shit on nature, the Planet Earth series is amazing. Well, the BBC one, the Congo one, really should be just as fascinating to people. It's really sad that that for whatever reason that video is hard to get a hold of. But in one of the scenes, there's this weird fish, probably similar to snakehead, gets out of water and starts walking. And you're like, I can't even believe this. It just walks over to another puddle and then jumps in. You're like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, this is a dinosaur. This fucking thing just did some dinosaur shit.
Wow.
I mean, we're literally seeing life evolve. That's what I mean. That's like the beginning of that, right? Mm-hmm. The ability to come out of that water and walk on the ground to better water. Holy shit! What a freaky fucking snake fish thing, whatever it is.
Why do they call it a snakefish?
I don't know. I wonder what it's called in the Congo. Snakehead fish. The Congo is apparently like one of the densest rainforests in the world. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that fish is called. I guess it's not a snakehead. It's something else. But if you get a chance to get a hold of that documentary, I think it's just called BBC Congo. Let me Google it real quick. I think that's what it was called.
There's something coming up for Mystery Fish of the Congo, but the video won't play.
Well, there was also those ones that you ever watch that show River Monsters?
Yeah.
That guy's badass. That guy's
that's cool.
He's a fishing motherfucker. That guy went out in a wooden canoe. I used to think nothing of that show. I say, oh, it's the guy fishing. What's the big deal? No. This guy fishes how the locals fish. He got in this wooden boat, okay, with like 100 hooks in it, and they were in this like tippity-toppity boat, and they're dropping these lines in for giant catfish. So at any point in time, something could fucking grab one of those lines and pull those fishing lines, and who knows how many hooks are flying in that guy's direction. And actually, people have died from that. Like one of the people in this tribe died from that. He got caught in a hook and dragged underwater. Like that guy is legit.
Wow.
And this is the other thing that he said while he was there. One of the people, one of the main people in their tribe, the chief, disappeared. He was gone for a whole day. And they were seriously worried. And because they believe in bad spirits and bad omens, they believe that he had caused the chief to disappear. And if the chief didn't come back, they were planning on killing him. They were going to stone him to death. Wow. And thankfully the chief came back and everybody was elated because but he was like, you don't understand how close I came to dying. Like they would have tried to kill him because they felt like he was a bad omen, and even if he didn't actively do anything to the chief, he created the bad luck that made the chief disappear.
Here's your fucking canoe.
You motherfuckers.
Remember that joke?
What's that from?
Joke. It was a stupid joke, but remember it? A guy is captured by these savages, and they're going to eat him.
Right.
And he said, I'm going to butcher the joke, but I just love the punchline. And he goes, well, what are you going to do with your skin? And they go, we're going to make a canoe out of it. And he grabs a knife. He goes, here's your fucking canoe.
He just punched holes in himself? Yeah. Oh, God. That's harsh.
It's a joke.
That's a tough joke.
That's a tough joke. I come from a tough neighborhood, Joe.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's a known fact that 90% of all queers come from your town.
Oh, you got me there. There's no retort to that.
Oh, the best one is only two types of things that come from Oklahoma: steers and queers. Somebody was the first guy to say that.
I believe it's somebody. Queers anymore.
The guys that still live there.
Yeah.
Still live there.
He ain't nothing but a
well,
boy.
You can't call them faggot no more without starting a revolution. Queer seems to roll off the tongue a tad easier.
You sound like the mean Larry the Cable Guy.
The mean Larry the Cable Guy. Larry Dice Cable Guy. I'll tell you what. Mexicans can go ahead and suck my dick real quick.
Here's how bad my taste is. Here's how bad a manager or agent I would be. Dan Whitney's his name, right? Larry the Cable. Great guy. Great fucking guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've met Homeboy.
I was trying to talk him out of the Larry the Cable Guy thing. I was basically trying to talk him out of a life of $1 billion.
Oh, my goodness.
I said, Dan, I love you. This character's strong, but, you I like your old character better. I don't know, Dom. It's doing pretty
Jesus.
well.
Boy, were you fucking wrong.
Oh, I know.
Boy, were you fucking wrong.
All right.
Dom
You have to
Irrera.
say it twice for effect.
Jesus, Dom Irrera. Bad advice, Dom Irrera.
Now you're coming down on me, Joe. You're throwing me to the wolves.
Has a guy ever become like really good that you didn't see coming? Well, you saw him in the beginning and you're like, oh, this guy's fucked. Because we you know,
I'll tell you who
it's easy to
became
write
really
people
good.
off.
That I was more surprised because he was so shy, and Brian Reagan.
Oh, Brian Regan's very funny.
Yeah,
man.
but see, Brian, I knew him since the beginning. He was a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old that was an MC, and he was just like gracious and deferring and not silly at all. He was like he was like a classic like Tonight Show stand-up.
Right.
But none of the he's like all over the place.
Yeah.
The character, he's fucking brilliantly funny.
He just knows how to be funny. It's his style too. His style of being funny is so
He's got his own thing,
uniquely Brian Regan. Yeah, he's like one of the. There's like a few guys, like maybe 3 or 4 guys that are like squeaky clean, but that everybody agrees are awesome. It used to be Hedberg before Hedberg died. Everybody loved Hedberg, but what people forget is that Hedberg was squeaky clean. Really,
I loved him.
Brilliant. He was brilliant. He was a really an all-time great for me. He's one of the few guys that else to this day like listen to his old stuff just to laugh.
Yeah.
If I'm at the airport or something like that.
I still love. He was on. Remember Full Frontal Comedy?
Yeah,
You were on that.
yeah.
And Hedberg was on. I remember one line he said, "No matter how much I practice tennis, I'll never be as good as the wall."
Yeah. The wall is relentless.
Yeah.
Like he took like an old expression and made it a really funny bit. Playing tennis ball against the wall.
Yeah.
Like this fucking guy. He's playing tennis ball against the wall. You're never gonna win.
He told me.
He turned it into like one of the funniest bits ever.
Fucking brilliant. I was just in his home, one of his towns, Austin, a couple weeks ago.
He's from Minneapolis, isn't he?
But
I
he was
believe
like
so.
he did a lot of comedy in Texas because
yeah?
I met him in Houston, but they really are big fans of his down there.
Yeah, he was awesome, man. He was beautiful. That guy was really fucking funny.
Great stand-up. Yeah.
He was really fucking funny.
One time he offered me coke at a party in Montreal, and he's such a nice kid. I said, Mitch, I don't do coke. He goes, Tom, I'm sorry. I go, sorry? You're fucking generous. That's basically like offering me a $200 sweater. It's nice of you. It's just that I don't happen to do it. I'm not judging it. He came up to me in Rochester, New York. We met and he was so proud that he was only drinking beer. He wasn't doing drugs.
Right.
He said, I said, so basically you're bragging to me about only being an alcoholic. He goes, yeah, kind of.
There's such a giant difference between those drugs and all the other ones, the opiates and all the other ones. Those are I saw a commercial the other day for some sort of clinic for opiate addiction. It was just talking about how easy it is to get hooked and all the different people that are hooked and don't want to admit they're hooked. And it was just showing you the examples of know.
I would like to do it. No, I would. I'm serious. I would love to do heroin if there was, if there was, it wasn't so dangerous.
Yeah.
But I'd love the feeling because I don't want to be high. Like, I don't want to be, like, methed out or anything speedy, cocaine.
Right. Yeah, that's scary.
You already know. I don't even drink too much coffee. But fucking mellow as I like. I like to be nodding off, like throwing up.
With a sense of music. All of a sudden, I think I can write a song. Wow. Yeah, you just get to the root of things.
Wouldn't you like to try heroin, though? Wouldn't you like to know what the feeling's like?
I don't trust myself. I don't trust that I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything. This is my rule, and I don't tell anybody what to do ever. But that's not true. Why am I lying?
Tell the
do
whole
something
world what
stupid,
to do.
I'll tell you don't do it. I don't fuck with anything that's addictive. I don't fuck with anything that can get you. I don't even like coffee because coffee can get you.
You're not addicted to pot?
No, I
Really?
take weeks off of pot all the
really?
time. Yeah, all the time.
That's fucked up.
The only time I absolutely smoke pot, it used to be before jiu-jitsu, but it's before isolation tank. I almost always do it before that. Or before writing. A lot of times I do it before writing.
That helps you.
Yeah, I like to. It gets me in a nice groove. It helps me release my current grasp on reality. I just think when you get an opportunity to look at things from like coffee doesn't do that. Coffee sort of inspires movement, inspires like me to act, me to have energy to start things off. But for me, the best inspiration is like a mental inspiration, like an inspiration where I could step away from it all and see it from a different perspective. So that's what a lot of times what getting high does for me. It allows me to just like move over to the next window. You know, I've been looking at things through the window of sober, sustained reality. Let's move over and look at things from look at over here. What if you're kind of high and you relax a little bit, you realize this is kind of funny, really. And then you start poking holes at things instead of.
I don't get funnier at all with alcohol. That's the only thing I ever do. But one martini will get me funny.
Yeah?
2 martinis,
Not so funny.
It's really a big difference. I mean, it's really a bit. It just slows me down enough where I don't feel that fucking, and keep it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And with one I can do.
One is, like a little bit of a buzz, like a tiny little bit of a buzz. It's kind of nice.
Because I don't get nervous. Do you get nervous at all?
No. I get, the only time I get anxious at all is if someone I know is going to be there, like me, but that makes me, like, usually perform better.
Yeah.
I'll be a little bit sharper. I'll be a little bit more alert, which is everything, right?
Comedy clubs, I don't get. I mean, a theater sometimes 2,000 people is a lot for me.
It's weird. It's a different sort of experience.
Yeah, I did a Trop in Atlantic City, and it's the only 2,000 seater that I do that has so much of a meaning for me. I've done them in Canada, but like my family's there, my friends are there. It's my home, and that's a little fucking. That's where I get a little bit,
Yeah.
I feel it in my stomach.
It's a lot of fucking human beings. Standing in front of 2,000 fucking
it's a lot of
human
material,
beings.
too. An hour and 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, though. There's no better gig on the planet. It's so fun.
No.
I've done so many different things, but there's nothing like the comedy. Nothing like the stand-up. Nothing like the stand-up either as an audience member. Like, I like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Obviously I like different sports, and I like MMA, and I like going to movies, but I like going to see a really great stand-up. It's love
fun,
that.
It's fun when you can laugh and separate yourself from it.
Yeah. And to get excited is still, I like when I see someone who's really good, I want to go right.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, 100%. I was at Laugh Factory the other night, and it's funny because it was the Comedy Store first, and I didn't feel like I canceled Friday. I never canceled. I was just beat. I like,
right.
And Bill Burr said something that I've been thinking. He goes, I just don't have anything to say tonight. I don't feel funny. I don't feel like going on. And I thought, thank God, it's not. Here's Bill saying it. Somebody I respect so much. And I was fine at the Comedy Store, but by the time I got to the Laugh Factory, I was juiced.
Right.
I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I'm seeing all these college students laughing at me. And, it's this very young crowd. And there was 4 20-year-old girls right in the front. And I go, when would I ever get a chance to talk to you? I said, I'm like 3 feet away from you, 4 20-year-olds. I said, you
have to listen.
If I came up to you at a bar, you go, get lost, Pops, before I report you to the manager. And
it's funny.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
Yeah.
I'm still driven by that ego with showing off in front of pretty girls.
Is really that how much of a factor is that in your
It's
stand-up?
a factor. I get a kick out of it.
Right.
I get a kick out of making them laugh and, also like tough guys. Something if I can crack like a guy who looks like a gang member, I see him at the fucking just got the whole gang member Dodger jacket.
So you just like little challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the fun of it for sure.
I just think it's amazing when you can translate to other groups. I mean, let's face it. If I was fucking stuck with Goombas my age, I'd be dead in the water. Mm-hmm. You have to translate. You have to go across generations.
My favorite is old ladies that laugh at me.
Isn't that great?
That's my favorite.
When you see them fucking crying.
Yeah.
Like if you see like a girl, like sometimes like a college kid will come over to her grandmother.
Uh-huh.
You see them both laughing at a jizz joke. The first time in her life that they're.
So you'd be amazed. I mean, especially because the old ladies today, they're like, they were around in the 70s and the 80s,
right.
and now they're in the 60s and 70s. They're coming out to comedy clubs. Like, they have pretty goddamn good sense of humor.
Yeah, right. They didn't grow up in an
In the Depression. They didn't grow up in the Depression. That's the difference between, our parents' parents.
Right.
And these people that are coming up today.
Yeah.
This is a more relaxed bunch.
They grew up with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. I've had a lot of like older gray-haired folks come up to me after shows, and
Isn't that
it's
great?
beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome. See, this is no reason to not just enjoy yourself and have fun. Like, we have a lot of self-imposed restrictions on the way we view things and the looseness in which we approach things. And a lot of it is just because people have to work. You know, they have to be serious because they have to work all day, shitty fucking jobs all day. It's hard. It's hard to really like have time to step back and make fun of it all and step back and look at it for what it really is. Some weird temporary state that could end at any minute.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be a weird thing to be a person who's an old person who's just locked and rigid and set in their ways and not seeing the end coming, like a goddamn freight train just rolling down the track, and they're just
Don't be getting philosophical with me, Rogan.
acting cunty and fucking.
I know, what a
missing
waste
all.
of fucking energy in life.
We know a lot of folks like that, though, huh?
I think it's funny the guys who won't talk, they don't talk a certain way in front of women, and yet they have no idea that the group of women are fucking pigs talking about fucking sucking cock and all this shit.
Yeah, there's some guys that are just they don't get
The
it.
boys club guys.
Some guys don't want to know either. There's some guys that don't want to know that women, like some guys want like really innocent women
It's a
that never
fantasy.
joke
Women
around
that don't
about
even
that.
exist.
Well, maybe they just want to find that one girl from Wisconsin that came here and hasn't been spoiled yet, Tom Irrera.
Yeah.
You ever think about that, pal?
Yeah, I did, all right?
Okay.
Okay, don't jump down.
Don't get fresh. Did you ever hear whatever happened to fresh?
Joe, don't give me the business. You're giving me the business.
Whatever
again.
happened to fresh? I think we should bring that back. Like, don't get fresh. I think that is a nice thing that you could say to people.
Jamie today is on the podcast. He was.
Oh, Christ.
First
Why
of
do
all,
you let him on the podcast, first of all?
I thought he wanted to come. Fraser Smith was on.
You're a beautiful man, but that's a terrible idea.
He was doing a filibuster. I said, you
Jamie
can't.
did?
He was telling the guests to shut up.
Buddy, listen to me. I've been running La Factory since 1975. I work for, hold on, buddy.
He kept saying to Fraser, shut up. I said, you can't have a guest on and tell him to shut up. He's a fucking guest.
He was brutal. So many people, that podcast I did with you and him, they were like, please don't ever bring him on again. It was like the majority of the comments was like, who the fuck is that guy and why is he on with Joe and Dom?
I told you what they said, too. They go, we think you're
Not the majority. I made that up.
We think you're funny, but you got to lose the little Mexican. They're calling him a little Mexican. But why are you blaming this on Mexicans? He's Iranian Jewish.
Yeah,
Through Israel, but what a fucking character.
That is being really shitty at being racist. Thinking he's Mexican, it's like you're a racist, you just suck at it. You even suck at being a racist. What do you do with the fucking Mexican? Like as if he looks even, buddy, listen to me. When I was in a small country a long time ago. Yeah, that sounds exactly like a Mexican. I hear, buddy, listen to me. Listen, Dom Irrera been working La Factory since 1976.
Every year
or sooner.
He gets younger when he came over here.
Buddy, listen, I was 6 years old.
I was toddler. I came on by myself.
Buddy, I bring microphone. I sneak them in my underwear as I come to America. That silly bitch. Buddy, hey, he's still kicking, man. Still out there supporting stand-up. If it wasn't for guys like him, people that own comedy clubs, they're all crazy. But you have to be crazy to own a comedy club.
He loves it. He loves comedy, and he loves the...
There's a few people that they drive comedy in this country. You know, Wendy from Colorado, from
she's
Comedy
great.
Works.
She's
She
great.
drives comedy in Colorado.
What a story. She was a waitress. She ends up owning the club.
She's awesome. She's a beautiful
she
person, too. But she drives comedy in Colorado. Like, she was one of the reasons why, like, when I wanted to escape, it was Project Escape from L.A. When I was looking at a place to go, Colorado was one of my choices. And one of the reasons being is that she has, like, a real comedy scene there. It's like a legit comedy
She does.
scene.
Great clubs.
She's got open micers all the way up to headliners, like local headliners. And she works those guys, like she has like a whole like rotation, and you know, this you're allowed to do 10 minutes, and here you're allowed to do 15 minutes, and she develops comics. She has open mic nights, you know. A lot of people forgot about open mic nights.
Yeah, Jamie still has them.
It's beautiful. You have to have them.
Yeah.
You have to have them. They're so important. The problem is a place like L.A. where everybody thinks they're fucking funny.
Yeah.
You know, which everybody sucks in the beginning, but some people suck to the point of no return.
You didn't suck at the beginning, did you?
Fuck yeah, I did. It was terrible.
I didn't.
You were awesome?
No, I wouldn't say I was awesome, but I think I didn't suck because I was already over my nerves because of acting.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, I didn't have much of an act, but I think I always could bail myself out. I don't want to sound like a jerk off and saying I didn't suck, but I'm sure I would think I sucked. But I'm not that big a fan of mine today, so.
I was very socially anxious before I did stand up, but I also was able to teach martial arts classes. And because I had taught so many martial arts classes, I had like a little bit less fear of talking than I probably should have had.
Sure, at least you're doing public speaking.
Yeah, I had conducted a class. I did many classes. You know, that's what I was doing for a living.
How far did you go in martial arts, too?
When I was 19, I was teaching Taekwondo at Boston University. I was black belt. When I was in Taekwondo, I was black belt, I think, when I was 16 or 17. So probably 17, somewhere around there. And I won the Massachusetts State Championship like 4 years in a row.
No kidding.
Yeah. I won
so
a couple
good.
other.
It's so good for your head, too.
Yeah.
So
Well, not really if you get hit.
No, I mean the emotional head.
Well, it was for me. For me at the time, it was big. But the teaching, it was really satisfying watching people learn things. That's when I learned I really love sharing things. And I also learned that in sharing like teaching techniques with people, I really concentrated on my own techniques. Like I think a lot of my kicks and a lot of my movements got even sharper because I was teaching them to people. Like I was breaking them down, showing them how to do them from scratch. And then I had like a few people. There was this one girl that I trained. She came in as a white belt, and then she got all the way up to, I don't want anybody to get mad at me, but I believe it was yellow, green, blue, red, black. I think that was the thing. And she got up to blue, which was pretty high. Yeah. And means you're starting to compete against people that are, they're dangerous. They can kick you in the face. Mm-hmm. You could get crazy. And she won this tournament, and I was coaching her. So I coached her from the time she was a white belt all the way until the time she was like a blue belt.
Oh, that's cool. That's rewarding.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. And she was a young kid. She was in high school, and she was really talented. She just knew how to listen. She knew how to listen, and she knew how to do like what I explained. She could and she was like super focused. It was really interesting teaching someone something and seeing something like someone completely dive into something that you appreciate and watching them get better at it. So rewarding to be able to pass that on. I always used to remember like my instructor when like there was guys that were really good in the class and they did something really good, whether it was a sparring demonstration or whether they did a drill on the bag or something like that. He had this beam of joy in his eye when he saw you do it really well. When you really did, yes, that's it. He would get excited and you could see this. Like, I didn't understand it then, but when I started teaching, I realized you're like taking part in someone's joy by helping them create something, by helping them create these movements and figuring out how to do these movements correctly. That it's not just like learning how to kick. It's like tapping into this area where you have control over the whole package, even for just a brief moment.
Yeah.
And in doing that, there's a phrase that they had from the Taekwondo brochure when you signed up that I'll never forget. It said that it was a vehicle for developing your human potential. So that's how I thought of it, and that's how I would teach it. So when you were teaching that, it's like I had an opportunity. I always felt like I had an opportunity to show somebody something that can change their life. I'll show you what changed my life. I'll show it to you, and you can do it too, and it'll change your life too. You will literally become a different person.
I taught fourth grade, and now those kids are grown-ups.
Wow.
And that's really cool because some of them told me it was the best year of their lives. They come to see me do stand-up.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's very cool.
What were you teaching? What?
Fourth grade, I taught, everything. But
fourth grade is like
different
math, science, everything?
I mean, yeah, it's different than what you did because you went to some people who had like an interest and a love for something and wanted to explore it. What you were doing. But mine is different. They had to be there. So my thing was about self-esteem. I figure I can't teach. These subjects are going to come and go in their lives, but teaching them self-esteem and some of the most rewarding things were like I had this one kid. He was real shy. He was so shy. He was real tall, and he was embarrassed by it. And he would stay in the cloakroom, they'd call it, with all the coats. And he'd just stay in there. He wouldn't come out. I go, Sky. We used to call him Sky King because he was a space cadet. I go, Sky, you got to come out. You can't stay. I can't let a kid just sit and And by the end of me just like working his self-esteem and all, he was in the middle of the class, just with everybody else waving his hand. And his mother came up to me, and she was like really touched by it and told me that I changed his life.
Wow.
And then, that kind of shit's cool. And now I got like a couple of the girls come to see me. She goes, one of the girls goes, Mr. Irrera, why did you let us do so much stuff? I said, because you were smarter than me. I said, what do you mean? I said, look, I had more knowledge because I was an adult, but you kids, a lot of you have more brain power than me. I know. I wasn't dumb. I was smart enough to know that I wasn't. That's why you ran the class. You know what I mean?
So you were an easy teacher. That's what you're trying to say.
Oh, really easy. I told them at the beginning of the year, I said, look, I want this to be the most fun year of your life. Only you can mess it up. I said,
what a fucking awesome opportunity that must have been.
And I said, I want to go to the gym. This is when I was playing basketball. I said, I want to go to the gym more than you do. So we're going to have a party every Friday afternoon. We'd have like kids that would do break dancing and stuff. And
really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you ever try to pitch that as a sitcom?
No, but somebody else had an idea for it a couple times.
That would be a hilarious sitcom. That seems like a natural.
Yeah.
You as a funny teacher, because you really did it. It's legit. And if you really stop and think about it, that would be like, for a kid, that's like one of the greatest rolls of the dice a kid can get for their fourth grade teacher.
Yeah. I had a girl.
You got Dom Irrera for your fourth grade teacher.
She still calls me Mr. Irrera. She's 26 years old, right? 26, 27, whatever. And she calls me Mr. Irrera, right? And I go, Teresa, first of all, you're taller than me. She's hot blonde. I go, stop with the Mr. You can call me Dom. She goes, I just can't call you Dom. Isn't that funny? Like she's got me down as Mr. Irrera.
That's good. That'll keep you from being a dirty bird.
Whoa.
Hey, stay away, Dom. You've known her since she's a little girl. Let her call you Mr. Irrera. She's trying to establish boundaries.
Somebody said, why do you go out with girls so young? I go, because I can. Come on. Oh, jeez.
Oh! Is this thing on?
Is this on? Is the sound system working in here? Hello?
That was one of my favorite bits of yours.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't even like it was like almost like an interstitial. It would like do it.
So
Sometimes you throw it in between jokes that kill.
Hello, come on, folks, give a little. Get off your high horses.
Even jokes that were killing, you would throw that in.
Yeah. You remember Nathan Lane?
Nathan Lane.
He's an actor.
Yes.
And
Wasn't he in like a musical?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them. He's great. He lives in New York. He was in The Producers.
He
was in La Cage aux Folles. But anyway, he used to give me. Had his great memory, and I would do that Fritzie Anderson character, and he would remember shit. He goes, "Get off your high horses," because I would go, "Get off your high horses. Come down off your exalted mountains. Retreat from your petite plateaus. Come on, folks." Ooh, ooh. And it was just so much fun to do because it was so physical and loud. It was like we used to kill my voice. What do you call a dog with no legs? Nothing, no matter what you call him. He ain't coming. Where did I lose you? Hello?
Yeah, having characters that you could just bring back like that is always fun, too.
Oh, that was a fun character. It was just all it was a conglomeration of every lounge mountain comedian I've ever seen. Like the sappy songs. I write the jokes to make the whole world smile. Ooh. That kind of guy.
I had a nightmare last night, I guess it was last night, that I bombed on stage in a hell gig in Long Island.
Wow. Very specific.
Oh, God, because Long Island was, I did a lot of hell gigs in Long Island.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you've done brokerage and governors and those.
Yeah, I did the nice places too, but I also did Fast Eddie's in Huntington.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was this is when my manager, I got my manager convinced to let me be dirty. Because
Jeff
initially
you've been with Jeff a long time.
Yeah,
right?
from the beginning. He picked me up when I was a scrub. He picked me up when I was an open micer. We've been together forever. He's the best.
He is the best.
But I love him too. He's my friend. It's not just a manager. He's the best manager, and I love him.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, we were still trying to figure it out. I was only like 20-something years old. I didn't know shit, and like maybe you should be clean. Like that was back in the day where everybody should be clean. And I'd done some clean sets too. Like he asked me to do one. I think he asked me to do one clean set for him. So I did a clean set at like Catch a Rising Star. But then we went to the place that was way out. Was it East Side? Yeah, East Side Comedy Club. Went out. I did a set out there, and then we did a set at this Fast Eddie's place. And this Fast Eddie's place was a dive. and there was a dude named George Gallo. I don't know if you remember him.
No.
He was on stage, and he a real physical act, and he was doing this thing where he would do a reverse shit with a banana.
Oh, shit. Oh, the old reverse shit.
I guess he would like put the banana like fully formed on his lips, and then suck it back into his mouth or something like that, and he called it a reverse shit with a banana.
Jeez.
He was, and so Jeff, I'll never forget. He looks over at me and he goes, "You don't have to do this. I'm going to get you out of this." And I go, "No, no, no, no." I told him, I go, "These are my people." I go, "Trust me, we're going to be fine here. I know how to make these people laugh." And so I went up and did my Hell gig material, because I did so many Hell gigs.
That's when
already.
you started being dirty again?
Well, it was the one he was convinced. He gave in watching that one set in this crazy nightclub. Like, it was the end of discussion whether or not I should be clean. He goes, "Okay, we just got to concentrate on just go all dirty."
See what he said?
Yeah. He's the best. Having a guy like that as a manager, it just takes all the worry out of like career and handling things, like you got a relationship like that with a guy, you love the guy like family, and he's also your manager. It really alleviates so much,
I always thought the world
so
of him.
lucky. He's the
Jeff,
best.
yeah.
He's the best. So Chandra, they're the best. But I just got so lucky that I met them. There's a lot of kooky faces out there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy fucking people in show business. I mean, how many Looney Tunes managers have we met? How many people off the deep end? How many people that fucking swindle people and wind up stealing money or owing money or embroiled in controversy every other year?
Yeah, and Lenny Clark got fucked.
Oh, he got
Remember
fucked
that?
hard. So did Jerry Seinfeld. He got fucked in that as
right.
well.
Yeah, the
a
same.
lot of guys did. Some agent stole hundreds of
I
thousands
know
of
who
dollars.
it is. I know.
Oh,
I'm not going to name him here.
dirty sacks of shit.
Yeah.
It's a funny business we're in, Tom Irrera. You and I have known each other for a long fucking time now.
Yes, me brother.
20 years. 20 years of 9-ball, too.
You think I'd be a little better?
A lot of fucking pool, Tom Irrera. You really need
There's a
to
lot of pool.
concentrate on your stroke.
We're still going to shoot tonight?
Fuck yeah, bitch. Come on, son.
I got
night is
2
young.
hours in me, that's all.
That's all you need. 2 hours
Give me
that's
2.
what the doctor ordered, son.
I gotta tell you now, Joe.
Tom Irrera, relax over here.
Dom Irrera, where can the folks see you next?
I'll be at the Improv in Atlanta this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the following.
I didn't even know that they had an improv.
Yeah,
in
I heard
Atlanta.
it's nice. They
Is
just
this
opened
new?
it up. Pretty new, yeah.
Wow.
You want to hear how I got the gig? Which
How
was
did
funny.
you get the gig?
I was doing a benefit for animals. It was for Alan Havey and for animal shelters.
Alan Havey.
And I didn't even know what it was. I just went in because it was Alan. And I said, I thought maybe Alan needed money. And then they go, no, it's for dogs and cats. I go, fuck dogs and cats. I'm kidding,
Whoa.
But anyway, so then I get a call the next day. And I've been wanting to go to Atlanta. And Bud Friedman called, and my agent. Isn't that funny?
Bud Friedman's opening this joint?
Well, he's booking it, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, I didn't know Bud booked things anymore.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
does.
He
does
thought
like
he'd-
Reno and Tahoe and a couple things.
Oh, he had had some thing at the Improv a couple years ago where he was like officially retiring.
But he always does.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's probably too fun for him.
Yeah.
This guy's been in the fucking business his whole life.
Yeah,
you know,
he can't
being
give up. I
involved
mean,
in
he loves
comedy.
getting up and saying
he does.
hello.
He does.
And-
And you know what? And comedy's a great fucking thing to still be a part of. It's a fun thing to still be a part of.
Yeah, it is. And I'm at Cleveland the following week. I'll tell you hilarities. Then I'll be in Kilkenny.
If you're a stand-up comedy fan, I don't think there's ever been more funny guys around than now.
I don't think so either.
I think it's one of the
I
best
agree.
times ever.
There's
So many good people.
Yeah.
Men, women. There's so many funny chicks. I think there's more
know.
funny chicks now than ever before.
Yeah.
Ever before.
Yeah, I know.
I think-
was with Sarah Silverman the other night, man. She fucking
She's
kills me.
hilarious. Just
Hilarious.
her and Amy
Beautiful,
Schumer,
too.
I think they rank up with the funniest chicks of all time.
I don't know Amy's work.
Bonnie McFarlane does as well. She's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. She's very smart. She's a very smart person. She sees things. She points out things, and they make sense.
Right.
You go with it. It's good.
Her and her
it's
husband
great
are
stuff.
characters.
Oh, hilarious.
Richie Voss.
Yeah. You ever heard the podcast? She gives me anxiety. She tortures him.
Does she really?
She tortures him. It hurts my feelings. I'm like, Rich, just shut the fuck up. Just please, Rich.
Well, she's hotter.
I'm just saying. I'm
She's
just
hotter
saying.
and smarter than
Yeah,
him.
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's a funny podcast. The best comedy couple by far is Segura and Christina Pazitsky.
Christina Pazitsky.
You don't know her?
I think I
Tom
do.
Segura's wife? Dude, That chick is fucking funny.
Yeah.
We did one of Sam Tripoli's shows. You know, Sam Tripoli has that naughty show. And Sam Tripoli's naughty shows, if you've never seen him, he does these shows at the Improv. And they're not just comedy. There's like all kinds of craziness to it. There's
porn
like
stars and stuff, right?
porn stars. And they played something where if the guy got the question wrong, the porn star beat him with a belt. So this chick is like beating this dude's ass with a belt, and everyone's screaming and going nuts, and then boom, they bring Christina Pazitsky on stage. And she's very pretty, yeah, but she's not like a porn star looking chick. She's a very pretty regular chick.
Right.
So she goes on stage, and by the way, don't ever ask me if my friend's wife is hot. That's
I didn't
rude
mean
as
to put
fuck.
you on the spot. I just
but you
realized
did, you
that.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, but you
she's
bought it.
She's very pretty.
But you handled it well. You said she's pretty for a regular chick.
So it wasn't like she was selling sex. She was just selling funny. You know, she was going up there and being funny. I mean, she dresses like, you know, like anybody.
Nice ass.
I wouldn't say it was a badass. Trying to be as respectful as possible, Mr. Irrera. With all due respect. Okay, and anyway, she goes up there, and I'm thinking, man, I just meet her, right? And she's with Tom, and I was like, you know, she seems so nice, and now for sure she's gonna go eat dick up there. It's gonna be terrible. How do you follow that?
Right.
The guy just beat a dude's ass with a belt, and everybody was screaming. How do you follow that?
He took his pants down?
So I want to say yes. I want to say at the very least, like his underwear was out.
Right.
Like he had his underwear on. They beat his ass with a belt. Like he got fucked up. That dude got hurt. Anyway, she crushes, just grabs it, makes fun of it, makes fun of the whole situation, relaxed, gets to it on her own due time, just controlled the whole room like a pro. It's so nice when you see that, you know, when you're like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Because there's nothing worse than befriending someone and then, you know, you've never seen them before. And you on those like those weird pop-in nights at the Improv where, you know, like a lot of times like on those Wednesday and Tuesday night shows, like there's some of the people in the crowd will be supporting the guy who's on stage, and they bring like 10 people with them, right?
Yeah. Well,
so you never know.
I brought a girl. I didn't bring her there, but she lives in Chicago, and the Laugh Factory is in Chicago. And I was doing it, and she asked me if she could do some time because her family's there. I never even saw her on stage.
Oh, no.
But she's hot. Thank God. No. Not only did she bring her family, she brought a shitload of people. And she did very well, and she's really hot.
Wait a minute, she's good?
I wouldn't say she's good, but I mean, she's probably not like in Christina's class.
Yeah, Christina Pazitsky.
But she did very, very well. I mean, she's a newcomer. You know, she's really green. But, I mean, like, all it was just like me going, yeah, you're hot. Fuck yeah, do 7 minutes. What do I care?
You know who impressed me the most doing, like, a pop-in set like that? Little Esther. Esther
she's
in
great.
Chicago.
Yeah.
She did the Chicago Theater, Don. There was 3,400 people there, whatever the fuck it seats. It's more than 3,000. I don't know how many it seats, but it's more than 3,000. Yeah. She destroyed.
No kidding. Yeah, she's good. She was funny on the podcast, too.
Yeah, there's so many funny fucking people today. This is crazy time. Crazy time.
It came back, you know. I mean,
fuck yeah, dude. Better. I think it's better than ever.
Yeah,
I really do. Look, Kevin Hart. I mean, think about Brian Callen, Nick DiPaolo. I mean, Jim Brewer, Bill Burr,
David Tell,
Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Tosh. Just stop right there. I mean, look at how many guys you're dealing with there. I mean, Patton Oswalt. You can't forget Patton Oswalt. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
There's so many good guys right now, man. There's so many fucking good guys.
You know who fucking makes me laugh, though, even though he's not a traditional stand-up?
Who?
Andy Kindler.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Fucking kills me.
He is a traditional stand-up. He's just,
you know what
he just
I mean.
makes fun of stand-up.
He makes fun of, like he does when he bombs, he does better than when he's doing good.
Yeah.
You know, he's the funniest bomber ever.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's quite a character, that guy. Yeah, we live in good times. This is great times for comedy. And, you know, the fact that everybody has a podcast now, I think is awesome. I just think it's one of the most amazing things ever that all these different people have something that connects to the act. You know, like you get to see the person, like instead of just seeing the jokes on stage, you get to see the unfiltered human being. You know, you get to see them fuck around with shit, talk about serious shit, talk about not so serious shit, bust balls, be silly.
Maybe sell a little ting.
Sell a little this, a little that.
Is it wrong to bring up
A little
ting?
ting. If you go to Rogan.ting.com, there's a little something in it for you. A little something in it for yourself. Okay? Squarespace.com. Go there too, you fucks.
You fucking whore master.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to what is the Squarespace URL?
Yeah, motherfucker. Who was that from?
Motherfucker.
That was from
Joey
Pesci.
Pesci from.
Motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
He told me that Pesci came in to see his goddaughter at the Laugh Factory, and he thought I was going to go up, so he agreed to do my radio show. I had a radio show there at the time, 2 years ago. Excuse me. And he goes, I says, I'm not going on, I'm tired. He goes, well, if you're not going on, I'm not fucking doing your podcast. I said, you're right, don't do it. He goes, there goes Dom. I go to this fucking Italian restaurant in Vegas, your picture's in the fucking urinal. I'm looking at you, I feel like a fucking fag. Looking at you when I'm taking a piss.
That's what Joe Pesci said, or is this a joke?
No, that's what he said.
Really?
Joe,
He thought he was a fag.
I don't do
Thought he was a
jokes.
fag?
Huh?
He felt like he was a fag.
Something like that.
You should just pull your cock out and see what happens next. Could you imagine if Joe Pesci just started mowing down on your cock?
No, I can't.
Even if you're, obviously you're not gay, but even if you, just for the experience is what I'm saying.
That's a good point. I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind the next time we see him. If he brings it up again.
Well, I was trying to figure out why he was telling you that.
Well, because my picture was up above the urinal.
Because he loves you.
He does. Joe Pesci's
He had his
low.
cock in his hand.
Pass it around.
And it was so memorable. He had to bring it up.
Why'd you have to fucking say that for?
Squarespace.com/Joe. Use the code Joe5. Save yourself some money. And thank you to Onnit.com. ONNIT. Use the code name Rogan. Save 10% off any and all supplements. Dominic motherfucking Irrera, Esquire. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're the fucking man. I am proud to be a friend, my friend. I'm honored.
Right back at you.
It's been a lot of fun and joy over the 20 years of knowing you. We've had a lot of good times, my friend.
Oh, yeah. And we plan on having more.
Ain't that more coming?
All right, you fucks. Powerful Dan Hardy will be here Wednesday. It'll be an early podcast, 11 a.m. on Pacific time for Powerful Dan Hardy. And then there will also be one on Thursday, and I'll let you know who's going to be on that. All right, you fucks. We love the shit out of you. Appreciate you all, and mad love to you. Mwah. Big kisses.
Thanks, Joe.